into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Yes, indeed, it is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Welcome to it. Thank you so much for tuning in on a rainy, weird Tuesday morning. We know the world feels a little bit crazy again, so thank you so much for choosing to start your day with us. We'll hopefully get you in the right state of mind.
That is the plan for today, and I mean, I know we're all trying to readjust to level 4. What does that mean? Is it time to readjust to a new normal again, you know, as the third wave is in full force? At the end of the day, we all need to do what we need to do to stay safe and to make sure that we keep others safe.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing here. We're not just looking after ourselves, but you're looking after everybody else. So keep those masks on, keep your social distancing, and just make sure that you adhere to the rules as they are. And speaking of such, we're going to get into what you need to be thinking about if you have had travel plans and are still needing to travel. I know business is still involved in certain circumstances. We'll give you all of the latest details on what you need to be aware of. Then we're going to catch up with the doc who really does know it all when it comes to this space. He has lived on the front line for a year and a half, just about. Dr. Emil Reed is going to be joining us to debunk some of the common myths around COVID-19 as well. And there are many fake news abounds.
Fake news, and the University of WhatsApp is not the place to get your medical advice from. Stop forwarding those messages, but let's debunk some of those myths. It's very important.
Yeah.
But there's someone else we need to say good morning to.
I'll debunk you, man. I'm going to debunk that guy.
Show it off.
Hi. Good morning, you beautiful souls, and good morning, team, and the rest of you, Mzansi. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. Of course, it's Tuesday, and we're choosing to spend it with you. Now, this morning, of course, we are talking about all things when it comes to COVID-19. I'm also getting a new look as well, so I'm going to need your help with that on the polls a little bit later, because it's chilly in the studio, and I need to get my knitwear on. But before we even get into it, of course, this morning's conversation is about COVID-19 and a lot of the myths that we've been hearing. So if you're getting information from WhatsApp or from friends, we want to know what are some of the craziest myths you've heard, because today on the show we've got the specialist in to debunk it. Now, I've heard all the craziest things that you can think of, from COVID-19 and the vaccine potentially turning us into zombies. It's the coming of a new age. 5G is going to link up and put all this weird information in our head. I've heard it all, but I want to hear what you guys have been hearing on the ground out in and around our country. So let us know on our social media channels. Of course, that's expressoshow.com for our website, but we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. We're out here and we want to chat to you this morning. So bring it on, bring on those myths so we can debunk them all. But before we get into that, let's find out what's happening in the news with Zoe.
Thank you, Ryle. I'll start with national headlines. Teacher unions have expressed concerns about the announcement of the reopening of schools for the third term, saying it should be guided by the third wave. Yesterday, Minister of Basic Education, Angie Motshekga, said schools would reopen on July 19th instead of July 26th, as originally scheduled in the 2021 school calendar. This followed the announcement by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Sunday that all schools will start closing from Wednesday as the country is experiencing a third wave of COVID-19 infections. And staying with local news, the ban on leisure travel under the newly introduced and adjusted level 4 lockdown to and from Gauteng has left airlines in South Africa scrambling to adjust their flight cancellation policies, with many scrapping penalty fees for last-minute changes. The sudden implementation of these new rules, coinciding with the approaching school holidays at a time when interprovincial travel has started to increase, has overwhelmed airlines. This as travelers who move in and out of the province without permission could face fines and even jail time. Moving to news abroad, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has called out vaccine selfishness in the world, but said it's a wake-up call for Africans to be self-sufficient. Museveni told delegates attending the World Health Summit that Africans are a disgrace to themselves and should stop depending on the outside for everything. He added that countries across the continent should manufacture COVID-19 vaccine locally. The Africa Union has long been calling for a COVID vaccine patent waiver to allow the continent to make its own vaccines as a shortage continues in many countries. And still on the subject of vaccines, a mix and match approach to COVID vaccines using different brands of the jab for first and second doses gives good protection against the pandemic virus, a UK study has found. The COMCOV trial looked at the efficacy of either 2 doses of Pfizer, 2 of AstraZeneca, or one of them followed by the other. All combinations worked well. The trial results also hint that people who have already received 2 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine could have a stronger immune response if they were given a different jab as a booster. And Liverpool superstar Sadio Mane has donated some 10 million rand to help build a hospital in his hometown, Bambali in Senegal, which hasn't had one before. And it's not the first time the 29-year-old footballer has given back to the community he grew up in. He previously donated millions towards building a school in the same town. Mane left Bambali at the age of 15 to pursue his dream of playing professional football in the Senegalese capital, Dakar. He later joined English Premier League side Southampton, where the highlight of his first season was a hat-trick he scored in just 2 minutes and 56 seconds against Aston Villa in Southampton's final home game of the year. He then joined Liverpool for the neat fee of £34 million, that's some 674 million rand, and played a pivotal role in its recent Premier League and UEFA Champions League success. Well, on that note, let's get a full update of your world of sport. Here is Graham.
Thanks so much, Zoe. Nice prelude there, inspirational story, and we certainly tip our hats to Sadio Mane. But let's start with the sport that is, well, we are hoping unfolding soon here in our country. The Springboks, who cancelled their Sunday training session in Johannesburg after 3 players tested positive for Covid-19, will resume their preparations for the forthcoming tests against Georgia. The Boks will return to training after receiving feedback from the Lions Series Medical Advisory Group. South Africa will take on Georgia in the first of 2 test matches at Loftus on Friday, with the second test being hosted at the Emirates Airline Park the following week. Then staying with rugby, the junior Springboks remain unbeaten in the Under-20 International Series. That was after thrashing Georgia 42-0 at a wet and muddy Makota Stadium in Stellenbosch yesterday. So this was their 3rd win in as many matches and their first clean sheet in the competition after scoring 6 tries. Bafana and Tleko's team stuck to their structures, defended well and delivered a very composed performance against the Georgians despite the wet conditions. Then on to the Sevens man game. Rugby Sevens and the Springbok Sevens team will now be facing the USA, Kenya and Ireland in Pool C of the Rugby Sevens at the Tokyo Olympics. South Africa and the USA achieved direct Olympic qualification. Kenya qualified after winning the Rugby Africa's men's Sevens title, and then Olympic debutantes Ireland, they secured the final spot after beating France 28-19 in the World Rugby Sevens repechage, and that was earlier this month. So the Blitzboks, walking away as bronze medalists at the Rio Olympic Games in 2016, will be chasing gold at the Olympic tournament from the 26th to the 31st of July. Then on to football. Some shocks last night. Spain and Switzerland have reached the quarterfinals of the Euro 2020s in dramatic fashion after beating their opponents after extra time and in a thrilling penalty shootout last night. So Switzerland beat world champions France 5-4 on penalties after Kylian Mbappe missed the final shot. Switzerland will now face Spain in the last 8 after they beat Croatia 5-3 after extra time. There'll be 2 Euro 2020 fixtures tonight and a big one. England take on Germany at 6 p.m. and then Sweden face the Ukraine at 9 p.m. Now we're back onto grass, and the results are coming in for the world #1 and reigning champion Novak Djokovic. He's advanced to Wimbledon's round 2 after seeing off British teenager Jack Draper yesterday. The 34-year-old top seed dropping just a set, but did fight back to beat Draper 4-6, 6-1, 6-2, 6-2 on centre court. In other results, world #4 Stefanos Tsitsipas, he suffered a shock straight sets defeat at the hands of the American Francis Tiafoe. Tiafoe easing into the second round 6-4, 6-4, 6-3 on court 1. We'll touch on all of those headlines again in about an hour or so right now. Let's see what the weather has in store. I'm sure a couple of warnings relating to the rain, so stick around.
You're spot on, Graham. Heavy rains amid a cold front have resulted in electrical faults, multiple accidents and localized flooding in Cape Town. By mid-morning, 13 vehicles accidents had been recorded owing to heavy downpours. Roads were also reportedly submerged in Bellville, Athlone, Woodstock, Plattekloof and Panorama. The Strand Golf Club was virtually submerged in water. Mayoral Committee Member for Safety and Security JP Smith said reports of flooding in informal settlements including Guguletu, Philippi, Khayelitsha, Makassar, Sir Lowry's Pass Village and Lwandle were also received. Eskom said in a statement the inclement weather was severely affecting its network in the Western Cape. Smith urged motorists to be cautious on roads amid the current weather conditions, which are set to continue for most of the week. And while we enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your parts of South Africa, we do also have an international growing audience that tune in both through YouTube and the Africa channel in the US. So this morning, we want to report on the weather for Salt Lake City, the capital city of Utah. Summers are hot and dry, while winters are wet and cold, although not typically severe. Today will be a warm day with plenty of sunshine, reaching a maximum of 34 degrees Celsius. And a big thank you to all of our viewers that take the time to photograph and share their gorgeous sunrise and locations with us. It really is a great way to see how you start your day. So for today, we want to start off with the silhouetted image as the sun rises in the distance. This was received from Amira Barman from Gqeberha. And then we head a little north up the coast to where one of our regular contributors, Louise G. Cheery, sent us this image from Amanzim Toti. It is a glorious view overlooking the ocean, showing off some burnt hues. Please do continue to share your sunrise photos with us, and you can do so on the Expresso Facebook page, and you might just see your photo featured here the next time. Let's quickly look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, a sunny day ahead with a low of 9, a high of 26. Mbombela 15, 34. Pretoria 10, reaching a high of 24. Johannesburg 10 with a high of 22. It's sunny in Mahikeng, 7, 27 for today. Klerksdorp 9, reaching a high of 27. Sunny in Kimberley 11, reaching a high of 27. Bloemfontein sunny, 9 with a low, 25 as a high. Richards Bay 16, reaching a high of 26. If you're in Pietermaritzburg today, 11 is your low, 26 your high. Durban 9, 25. Sunny in Mthatha, a low of 5 with a high of 28. East London 14, reaching a high of 19. Cradock partly cloudy, 11 is your low with a high of 24. Gqeberha 11, reaching a high of 17 for today. Rain can be expected in George with a low of 9, a high of 16. Cape Town 10, reaching a high of 13. Rainy conditions in Worcester today, 11 is your low, 15 your high. Sutherland a low 3 with a high of 15 for today, and Uppington nice and sunny with a low of 11 and a high of 29 degrees Celsius. Please be safe if you're heading out on the roads in Cape Town, and if there's another weather update, that will be coming your way at 7 o'clock.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Now, a great way to keep warm, of course, is reading. And when children see themselves in storybooks, a love for reading is absolutely ignited, and even more so when it is in their own home language. But sadly, 80% of our population speak a home language other than English or Afrikaans, but only 2% of storybooks are in African languages. Now, Cadbury Dairy Milk want to change this and help inspire the love for reading among children. And what better way than by creating a library of enchanting children's storybooks in their mother tongue.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we get to be co-authors in this whole story as well. So we have been asking you to join us every day of the week as we just tackle one word at a time. We've been looking at some interesting words, and what I love about these is they're quite figurative. They kind of stoke the imagination a little bit. They get you thinking, and this one is going to be perfect. Just imagine the story that you can create around this word that we want you to translate for us today. It is hyena.
Hyena, like the animal, right?
Like the, yeah, I don't know what other hyenas there are, like the car. I don't know, dude.
You never driven the new hyena 3.2 litre?
3.2. Just you drop it. No, yes, the hyena.
I was going to try and ask
hyenas in Afrikaans. Hyena. It is.
Is it
This hyena.
like a word?
A hyena. Lachhond.
Yeah, there we go. I like that.
Lachhondkie.
I like that. I don't know,
Official.
you guys let us know if we're actually onto something or not, but I don't actually
That's
think
not
it's
right. That's
Afrikaans
probably
word.
not right.
But tell us what word is translated into it. And if we're looking at Setswana, one of South Africa's 11 official languages, then the word hyena is translated into, I don't actually know. Do you know the answer to that?
I've got it right here. It is Piri. Piri, spelled P-H-I-R-I, Piri. So hyena in Setswana, which is spoken by some 8.2 million people in the country. So you should be able to correct our pronunciation if we have made a mistake. It is Piri. Piri. It almost, you can picture, it almost sounds like a name within that, if you know what I mean. So Piri the hyena, I love that. It's already starting to conjure the imagination, and that's what you want out of a story. That's exactly what we're trying to create here as books that will inspire the imagination. So we want you to translate a word a day and help co-author an entire children's library in each language. And every story is going to end beautifully. We want to create storybooks that are going to be engaging and inspire children to read hashtag in our own words.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. You're live right here on S3, opening up and asking you for some help, Mzansi. I need to get warmed up. I need to fix my look, of course. It is the heart of winter. And for a lot of us, we've been struck with the reality of COVID-19 and the fact that in Mzansi, we're going to level 4. So that means a lot of us are going to be working from home, and I'm going to be one of those people on that hustle. So I need you to come through and assist me. And I do believe in the following. I do believe in comfort, but I also like an element of productivity. So if I can get a look that embodies that, then we are absolutely winning. And I think that Woolies have come through with just the option that we're talking about. So the options we have on the shelf today, and something that I've eyed out, but I just can't figure out which color to wear, is this beautiful Easy Care cotton long sleeve shirt. Now, firstly, it's slim fit, so it's gonna hug the buys in all the right places, make you look good and feel good. But it's also got this Easy Care cotton, which is soft. It's great to kind of layer, but also if there's some of those cooler months coming ahead, it's still got that thickness to it. And then just to top it off, something I love when it comes to subtleties. You've heard me when it comes to my style too. It's the thought that goes that extra mile. Now these button-down collars I absolutely love. It's something that you can play around with, something I can keep open, I can flow with it, I can neaten it up as well. The list goes on, but Mzansi, please come through. So you need to head through on our social media channels. So that's our Facebook or our Instagram, and comment on the poll. Which one do you think I'm gonna look best in to match this look that I've got for winter? So we've got the blue option, or we've got the grey option. It's the Easy Care Slim Fit Long Sleeve Shirt. I need to figure out which one I'm gonna wear. Mzansi, help me out on the poll. Blue or grey? It's Tuesday. Help choose my day.
You can help him make those choices on social media, and likewise show a bit of love for our performing artist this morning. He is a legend, performing in and grounded very much in the styles of R&B and pop, in funk and gospel. Multi-talented musician Keanu Harker has been preparing his whole life to step out and own the limelight. Now he's doing it. He's showing off his songwriting skills as well with his recent release of his debut single, I Feel It, and we're going to be feeling it this morning as he joins Expresso to share more about his musical journey. Please give him a very warm welcome back to the show, Keanu!
We are back. We are back. We are back.
That was like a level
Thank
4
you.
welcome. I wish there could have been 3,000 people screaming your name.
Oh, I missed that.
Hey, buddy.
But I mean, this was good. Thanks.
It's so good to have you here, and so good to see you on the kind of path that you're on right now. We've been blessed by some amazing singer-songwriters recently. It feels like this last year and a half has kicked up the level of creativity big time. A lot of artists who might have thought of themselves as a cover artist for a stretch of their career have been like, I'm going to change that game completely.
Definitely.
I want you to take us back a step or two, because you've been very much grounded in, obviously when we hear you perform, you can see the funk and the R&B and the soul come through, but church obviously played a big role. But you started playing at the age of 9, guitar.
Yes, I did.
How did that start? Were you just like a child genius who picked up a guitar?
I wish.
Mom, dad? Who was that influence?
I wish, but I have to give props to my dad. He was definitely the one, Ruben Harker. I remember like in church and like at different events, there would be a singer or somebody doing an item, and my dad would just grab the guitar and start playing. And I was like, what superpower is this that you can just... I want to know how to do that, you know?
It is cool.
And so my dad is also self-taught, right?
Oh, wow.
And so he just took the guitar somewhere and started playing, and he's left-handed, which means that he plays upside down to me. So I was so determined, I used to lay on the couch with my feet against the wall just to get like the shapes, you know. I was determined, I want to be like this, you know. And ever since then, I remember, and I've been like, it's a very musical family. So the aunts, the uncles, grandpa, everybody sings. So it was easy for me to latch on to music, you know. But props to dad.
And that must be so cool when the whole family could just pick up a guitar and belt out a tune. I love it. Well, yeah, speaking of that, this idea of collaborative effort, because now more than ever, especially in this space of creating music and performing with your band, it's all about collaboration. You've grown up in church, yes, but you've also performed in school choirs. You've always had people around you. How important is that to have that musical journey? I know, yeah, you can get onto YouTube and teach yourself how to play guitar, but having had that experience working with other choristers, working with those in those collaborative spaces, how important is that?
It's one of the most important, I think, actually, really? Especially because I wanted to do it full-time. I wanted to expand. So the church has a certain sound and an audience and, you know, I don't want to say a following, but you know what I mean. Being part of the school orchestra, that's a whole different symphonic mindset I need to have. Being part of the school jazz band, that's a whole different genre and style. So for me to step into the music industry, it was easier because I've been exposed to all of that.
I've played that. I've actually played that.
You know,
Give me the trombone.
Yeah, I can do jazz. I can scat, and then next I can do like a symphonic piece, you know, canon in D or whatever. So I do think it's one of the most important like influences in my career. Then
that must make the creative process so much more exciting when you've got all these different tools to play from. I feel it, we feel it, everybody feels it.
I feel it.
It must be the best feeling in the world when you eventually get to that point. And I joke about being a kind of cover artist, but I know a lot of amazing artists with amazing voices that can perform anything, but it takes a fire to get you to release your own music. What started that fire, and what was the point to say, okay, I'm ready to do this, and why this song?
So this song is literally my anthem right now.
Really?
Because, like you mentioned, being a cover artist, I've always been doing cover music. I've been doing some sort of, corporate gig where people would request music, and I know for the fact
doing it well, man. And
Thank
doing
you.
it really
Thank you
well.
very much. I mean, you've seen
Not
it.
just doing it, you've done it with me on a stage before, and you're amazing.
Yeah, and because I know that if I do something like that, people automatically sing along, and that kind of put me in a safe space. And for me to step out of the cover scene in my regional music, it was I was scared, I'm not gonna lie. But the fire came from my supporters, my fans, that said, we believe in you. You just need to start believing in yourself. And
do it.
I feel it, I feel this is my time.
I can see those moves in the video, bro. You're feeling it, man.
It was amazing.
An anthem is all about that feel-good, something we love on this show, so we can't wait to hear it, dude. So good to connect with you again. You seem really grounded and centered through all this craziness that's gone on, which is a really good thing, man. So
thank you for noticing that.
Man,
sometimes
it's fantastic.
crazy.
No, I think this is done. The silver lining. We know everyone's lost a lot as well, but I think maybe there is a silver lining. You're going to get to see this man feel it on stage this morning, and we shall feel it. I shall feel it. His brand new single will be performed live on the show with a couple of other absolute bangers. Keanu is going to stick around and perform just for you this morning, so you better stick around.
Only you can make my day.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's tissue oil and rich body care range for 48-hour rich moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, beautiful souls. It's a chilly Tuesday, but we're choosing to warm our souls up. And just because it's cold doesn't mean you need to skip your workout. Now, heat up your body with a quick and easy yoga flow that we are about to do right now. And this winter warmer yoga flow lowers stress and anxiety, increases flexibility, improves stability and balance, and improves your overall fitness. Now, we've got a special guest in the building. Yoga instructor Kayla Bull is in the building from the Om Revolution, and she's here to show us how to stay warm and keep fit this winter. Kayla, good morning. How are you doing?
Yes, good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm gonna be even better because you're here and you're here to emancipate us, rid us from the demons and the negative energy that brings the day on, and free us.
I'm always
Yes,
so
and
surprised
the
because yoga is
cold.
so good for you, yet we don't do it enough.
Oh yeah, I'm on that list.
Why?
I don't know.
It's such a nice practice. You can make it as soft as you want to or as hard as you want to, So it's great, and especially because it's cold today, we can get warm.
Okay.
All right, so this is something that Mzansi can join in with, right?
Yes,
What
yes.
do they need? Anything? Just a bit of space?
I think just a mat is okay. A towel if you don't have one, and then just some space, and you're good to go.
All right,
Okay.
Kayla, let us not distract you any further. You can take it away.
Sure. So let's start at the top of our mat.
All right.
And just relax. Relax your hands, fingers to the ground, grounding into our feet. And we're just gonna move nice and slow. Maybe those at home wanna move faster, that's up to them. So let's start by just rolling our shoulders back and feeling our sort of shoulders come together at the back. Yes. One more time. Let's go forward. Beautiful. So just feel it with your breath. We start nice and slow. Good. So let's bring our arms up on an inhale over our head. Big inhale, look towards your hands. Beautiful. And then cactus it beside us here. Lean slightly back. Feel it. Bring your arms all the way down beside our hips. And then big inhale, we come back up. Yes. Let's do that one more time. We cactus our arms here. Lean slightly back. Nice. So just feel that. Big inhale, arms come up over our head. And this time we're gonna fold all the way forward, down, 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 down. And just release the head, skull towards your mat. Relax your fingers. Inhale, halfway lift, look ahead of you. And drop our hands. Let's step our right foot back, find a long lunge, drop the right knee, and then let's look ahead of us. Yes. So draw that knee towards your armpit, making sure that there's still nice 90 degrees. Perfect, yes. Big breath, big inhale. Curl our toes, our right toes, lift that right knee, drop the hands, and we're gonna step back into a high plank. When you're ready, go for it. Yes, nice wide fingers here. Looking ahead, strong legs here. Tuck the belly, knees down. And we're gonna shift our weight forward, chaturanga, all the way down to our mat. Uncurl our toes, baby cobra. So just lift the chest up slightly. Beautiful, big breath here. Pushing our hips all the way back towards our heels. Curl the toes, and we find our down dog. So push all the way up and walk your feet into a nice length. Yes. So let's just pedal it out there. It's our first down dog. Just nice smooth breath, big inhale. And slowly we come back to stillness. We step our right foot forward between our hands. And this time our left knee comes down. And we're in that low lunge. Yes, look ahead. Big breath. Gently curl those left toes. Lift the left knee, and we're gonna step forward this time to the top of our mat. So find the momentum, step, forward fold. So option here to micro bend those knees to where it's comfortable for you. Relax the head, and inhale, we come all the way up, find that nice high mountain. Look towards our hands, little cactus here, bringing our arms beside us. Big inhale, arms come up. And back down to our sides. Beautiful.
This was amazing. I feel relaxed and ready for the rest of the week.
Good.
Kayla, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah,
this is
of
just what we
course.
needed. I feel like we need to just stay here a little bit longer. Of course, we need to also head on over to the kitchen. I believe they are making us some vegan French toast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when we step into the kitchen, it's always a good time. French toast, how does that sound for a Tuesday morning? A classic breakfast? Oh yes, it's made with leftover bread and beaten eggs. It doesn't get any better. But how about making a vegan-style French toast? Have I got your full attention yet? Hopefully yes. How many, or rather how, you may ask? Well, making French toast with no eggs, maybe? Is that even possible? That's why we called in food entrepreneur and one of our favorites here on the Expresso show. It's Gabby. Gabby, so good to see you. Reunited.
I know, it's so sweet.
2 years later, you left us to go become a mother.
A mom. And then when Gaia was little, then we came here, and we had my mom in the background helping, and
Yeah.
thankfully she didn't cry, so it was great.
This is fantastic. And how's the world world of motherhood?
It's amazing, honestly. We're very blessed. She's I know everyone, mom says that like their child's the best.
Yeah.
She really is. She's so cute.
She is so adorable.
Thank you.
We are so happy to have you back, and you're bringing such an incredible recipe with you this morning. We're making
Thank
French
you.
toast, but it's vegan style. Tell me more.
Yeah, so it's actually funny enough. This recipe came about because my daughter's actually allergic to egg white.
Oh, wow.
Funny enough. It's a very mild allergy, but we can't give it to her. And so many of
And
my
you
mom's
live
friends...
on egg white.
Yeah, it's such an easy thing to eat. So
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, how can I make her this treat that so many moms make kids, because it's easy to make and it's delicious,
Yeah.
but it has no eggs. And then I thought, well, let's just make it fully vegan.
I'm very keen to
Yeah.
see how this is all going to come together. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's so easy. So we've got some sourdough bread here.
Okay.
You can just use normal white bread as well if you'd like. If it's a day old, it's a bit better because you'll see it soaks in your mixture a little bit better. So we've got a plant-based milk here. So I've used oat milk, but you can use almond or any kind of nut milk.
Coconut milk,
Coconut milk, even if you like that coconutty flavour.
which, I mean, for me is always a winner.
Yeah, that's always delicious. And we've got some cornstarch. We've got flaxseed, which is basically like your egg substitute. I've got a little bit of baking powder.
Nice.
Some vanilla.
Essence.
Yes. And we've got a little bit of date syrup just to kind of keep a little bit of sweetness.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, where then are we going to be getting our sweetness from?
Yes.
I even thought that was honey.
Yeah, so obviously your honey's not vegan, so you're going to rather
That's
go
the
with
thing.
your date syrup or even a maple syrup.
Yeah. Okay, great.
yeah.
So you're mixing all of that together.
This is giving this a whisk.
Meanwhile, your pan is sort of heating up that
Yes.
side.
So exactly, yeah. So there we go. We're going to put our pan on our heat, and we're going to add about a good dollop of coconut oil to
Nice.
melt on there. And the big trick here is you'll see that the mixture often the cornstarch will kind of sink to the bottom. So just before, as soon as your pan's ready, you want to give this a final whisk.
Is that
just to
when
bring
you
everything
know
up.
that the coconut oil has sort of
Kind of melted. Yeah.
melted
You want your pan to be
evenly?
hot. Yeah, so you see our coconut oil is melting nicely. But yeah, you just kind of want your pan to be quite hot. And then just before you're ready with your bread, we're going to pop it in here, give it one last stir.
The people often think that making vegan dishes is complicated. You need all
not.
sorts of fancy ingredients.
No.
And you really can make it by bringing it all together using all the ingredients you've already got in your own cupboard. We've made it super easy for you to cook along with us this morning. Our website, expressoshow.com, that's where the recipe is, as well as a full list of all the ingredients. You're going to love this. It's a treat.
So basically now we've got our mixture.
Yes.
My pan's getting nice and hot. And you're basically going to take your bread like normal French toast.
Yeah.
Going to kind of do a bit of a dip here. So it's nice and coated.
Yep.
Give it a bit of a shake.
Do you want to soak it, like absolutely soak it, or just lightly?
So you don't want it to be like soggy.
lightly?
So like as you can see, I've literally just coated it all without.
Yeah.
So you kind of want it to be a good like 5-10 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to try one just to
You're
see
so welcome.
if you actually retain any control. Oh, you actually do, because I was wondering if
Any control.
all of this is just going to
Wait.
soak it all up, and then you're like, ah!
So worst comes to worst, they always it's like with like pancakes. The first
Yeah.
one's always a nightmare. So you know, if this one comes out badly, I'm going to blame you. if you
Okay,
don't
no,
mind. Okay,
listen,
cool.
my one's the smaller one.
There we go. Yeah, so we're going to have this here. Can I kind of move it around?
Nice.
Just to make sure it doesn't stick. If you feel like it's sticking, I just add a little bit more coconut oil to it just because you can.
When do you know when it's absolutely ready? Because you're making use of coconut oil, which has a different sort of heat factor
Yes.
to, say, sunflower oil.
Yeah, so you actually can use sunflower oil. You can use canola oil. I just prefer coconut oil just because, as you just mentioned, it has a higher heat factor.
Okay.
And obviously, you want to use a non-stick pan. And yeah, so you're going to just want this to brown a little bit.
And when it's all done...
And when it's all done, so this will take a good like 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
Just to get that
so
nice
it's quick.
and toasty.
It's a quick and
Yeah.
easy one.
And as you can see, we have our finished
When
product
it's all
already.
done, that's what it looks like. You can add some embellishments to it to
Yes.
really make it special. What have you got there?
So we actually, can we move over here? Yeah, we've actually got some nice coconut yogurt.
How
and then
does
an
it
extra
taste,
drizzle.
Gabby?
Well, you let me know. It's got a really, so I serve it with a little bit of date syrup or maple syrup and some coconut yogurt. So it's like a perfect breakfast.
Girl!
Let me know what you think. Honest opinion. It's been very quiet.
Honestly, I might as well have been vaccinated twice and taken a trip to France.
Oh, you're so kind.
I mean, it is authentic in every way, but the taste.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna have the entire thing. Well, listen, you can make your own at home as well. Expressoshow.com is where you can find the recipe. Enjoy, everyone. Gabby, I'll leave you one, eh?
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Oh, you can make my day.
Yeah, welcome back, beautiful souls. It's Tuesday. It's a day of so much meaning, but today, of course, on Expresso means you get to help me decide on my outfit for this morning. Of course, it's been a chilly one in the studio, and I need to warm up. And earlier, we asked you to help me choose between the grey knit shirt and, of course, the navy blue knit shirt. So let's take a look at some of the social media comments before we find out who's the winner. Firstly, coming through, Bradley Carsten says, definitely knitty, I think, and he says the grey knit shirt is what he's going for. Then Mercia Mishka Abraham says darker color, so I would imagine that's the blue. We've got Rukshana Miller saying navy, and obviously we're replying to you all over there. Then we've got Tavando Velomu says the grey. Seems like it's quite a bit of a balance at the moment. I don't know if we've got any more social comments, but the guys have been sifting through all of it. I got to thank you so much, Mzansi, for coming through, because we do have a winner. Can you figure out who it is? It's the grey one. So I'm going to be rocking this. Let me put it on for you if we've got some time, just to show you how a nature boy would style his shirt, right? So we've probably got like 30 seconds to do this. But of course, you guys can get these shirts at Woolies, online, in store, or of course on the app too. And it's the perfect way to style a look. If you're looking at me right now, I don't know what you guys think, but I'd keep it a little bit casual. I wouldn't button them all up. I'd maybe just go for the lower ones like this. A young tuck in, you know, just keep it cool and tidy, and boom. What do you think, Mzansi? Thank you for pumping me out. Enjoy the rest of Tuesday. We'll see you soon.
Welcome to it, another episode of Ingram's Skin Sessions, a thought-provoking campaign that really encourages brave conversations more than just skin deep. Now, this week we are unpacking a brand new topic, acts of liberation. Increasingly, though, we are using our bodies as forms of self-expression, often against societal beauty norms. This is championing a growing movement of radical self-acceptance that counters traditional beauty ideals.
The fact that it's so radical is in itself so radical, but it needs to happen. I think loving the skin that we are in is an enormous act of self-love, as with many acts of liberation, from the clothes we wear, maybe the tattoos on our skin, our mental health, and even what we openly share about ourselves. Now, joining us today to remind us just how important it is to celebrate our uniqueness, our poet, body positivity activist and mental health advocate, Sizakele Potleli, aka Her Mentality on Instagram, and comedian and good friend of the show, Nina Hasty. We love you guys. Welcome to it. How are you doing, ladies?
Morning. Good morning. Good morning.
The face, it's just everything we needed to see today. And Sizakele, I'll start with you. You know, the positive relationship you have with your skin was only sparked about, 4 or 5 years ago, when you became tired of feeling like a prisoner in your own skin. And it forced you to say, and I quote this is my home and this is my body. What would go wrong if I just were to love it? I mean, take us through that journey and why you think we find it easier to love others as opposed to loving ourselves.
Good question.
I generally think it is easier to love things outside of ourselves, right? If you see someone looking beautiful, it's easier to say you look so beautiful. But when it has to come to you, when someone compliments you, you feel uncomfortable because you don't quite know what to do with that love. And 4 years ago, I got so used to praising people, and I'm like, if I did that for myself, would it be so hard? So I started intentionally loving myself, I started intentionally choosing myself, because love is not taught, No one says this is what love should look and feel like, but when love is wrong. So I started learning how to now, let me do for myself what I would do for someone else, let me buy myself that, let me sit in my silence, let me understand me and give myself the same commitment I would give to the other person, reminding myself that as I am, there is no fault, So it's literally intentional acts of self-love.
And that in itself is liberating. If you've experienced it, it is liberating. Now, Nina, you once said this, and again, I'm going to drop a quote here. I'm in a space where my comedy reflects the hope as opposed to the pain. Comedy is 99% knowing who you are. I'm funnier because I have more life experience. I mean, you've been in the spotlight from obviously an incredibly young age, overcoming obstacles that you have shared with us, from addiction to depression. How have you been able to, through this, remain true to yourself and allow the real Nina Hasty, if you will, to take the lead?
You know, there's a couple of things here, so I'm gonna rush through them. One of them being authenticity. When I say I'm funnier now that I know myself, I meant funnier than myself before, not funnier than anyone else.
You are funny.
One thing, authenticity is a very powerful force for a lot of people that, you know, work on an energetic level and manifestation and, you know, just pulling good things towards yourself. The more rooted in your own truth and your own self-worth and your own authenticity, the more powerful that thing is. Getting to know myself and looking at those things that a lot of people might not have the courage yet to identify within themselves, and me putting that out on a stage helps people to relate to that and maybe release something that they can relate to. I'm working with a medical biohacker at the moment, and she's done a whole study on what laughter does to the body from stress relief. And I invited her to my most recent stand-up comedy show, which is called Nina Loves You, and it literally changed people after they left the show. And it's all about self-love. It's about how everybody loves me except me, and everybody can relate to that, how you don't love yourself and the knock-on effect of that, and how you make bad decisions because you've got low self-esteem.
And we love both of you. We love you, Nina. We love you, Sizakele. And I'll ask both of you this question. You know, tattoos, and this is something you can maybe relate with as well. It reflects who you are and what you believe in, yet in many situations, so many are stigmatized if they have visible tattoos and at times are even blocked from jobs. Why do you both think this form of self-expression should be seen as a powerful act of liberation rather than a social taboo?
You know, I think we are in a time where my job is not based on what my body looks like, you know, and I'm a number cruncher by profession, and I have literally tattoos everywhere. And every time when I get to the office, no one cares what Caesar looks like. They care what Caesar can bring to the table. And my job is amazing and I do great. So why should then my tattoo and what is on my body change how people interact with me? And for me, also, my tattoos are very much what I've been through. And so that I'm literally memories, you know, like when you look at my body, it's literally like, this is how I better know myself. This is how I get closure. This is how I start new things, by painting my body the way that I choose to. And when you're in corporate, you know, it's said that there are companies that would frown upon that, but I've been lucky, you know.
You know what's quite interesting is one of my first ever tattoos, when all my hair fell out, I had alopecia, and I found the best way for me to decorate my head. I didn't want to wear wigs because I wanted my hair to be free, all the follicles to be free to grow back. And I got this big tattoo of Africa with a Joburg skyline inside. But my second tattoo is on my arm, which says, Watinta Bafazi, Watinta Mbogoto, which is the ultimate act of liberation, that women of all ages and races in 1956 marched to the union buildings in order to protest against the past laws. And it was women that came together that helped liberate South Africans. And I think that was one of the most ultimate moments of liberation in our country's history. And the fact that I can remember that and remind myself the power of women all the time, and it's on my skin, that is for me the ultimate act of liberation.
Yep, it becomes a talisman. That's certainly what it means for me. And often when you get these tattoos, it's at a watershed moment in your life. So I certainly get exactly what you're both saying there. I'm going to turn to mental matters now. A recent study by SADAG estimated that 59% of South Africans were diagnosed with a mental health issue prior to lockdown. Now, those stats have only grown. We've all experienced that through lockdown. Having both battled with depression over the years and being kind of fully aware of the stigma that's attached to it, what advice do you have for people dealing with depression right now? And how can we free ourselves from that stigma that's associated with mental health issues?
Depression is different for everybody, right? But what is important with dealing with depression is finding your safe spaces. Literally, when you have a safe space, the world can come at you, but nothing will move you. You know, if you've got your people, you know, it's very important to, because the social media is loud, you know, it's very chaotic, but when you've got your people that you can talk to, people that you can confide in and safely be yourself, and don't be scared to talk, be rebellious when it comes to your mental health situation, or talk about it, have uncomfortable conversations with your parents, with your friends, have them understand what is it that is going on within you. And most importantly, find your safe spaces, find your people, stick to them, and you will not go wrong.
Get your tribe.
Find your tribe.
Find your tribe. And Nina, what's gotten you through? What key points can you offer as advice?
First of all, I have to agree with Sizakele. Environment and friends are, the people that you can relate to and find safe spaces with are the most important, people that don't make you wrong for how you feel. I am currently working hand in hand with SADAG in an official capacity. I just want you guys to please share the SADAG helpline and the suicide helpline. What I'm finding is particularly there's a lot of teen suicides. That's really been concerning for me. But I think this message, I'd like to actually reach out to people that don't know how to identify depression in their friends. So we're saying, okay, cool, lean in on your environment, but there's a lot of people who don't know how to be lent on.
Yeah.
So if you have people that are around you that you might not know suffer from depression, particularly people that go from very hyper and super life of the party and then they disappear for a couple of days, watch that behavior and reach out to them when they're quiet. Send them messages telling them that this will pass, that this is not a permanent sensation, that everything that they're feeling is valid, but they're in a safe space and they mustn't lose hope. So try not to judge people, try not to give them too much advice or tell them to get their life together. Just be there to listen and don't make them wrong.
I love that. I mean, we could keep talking for hours, man, just because I love the look of your faces, I love the sound of your voices, and most importantly, I love the pillars that really do underpin the way in which you engage with the world. So you're both fierce, beautiful, incredible, wonderful people, which is why we love you so much. So thank you so much for sharing these insights with us this morning. We really do appreciate it,
We
girls.
love you.
Thank you.
We love you too.
Thank
Thanks for always
you.
keeping this a safe space for us. Have a lovely day.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
Well, of course, you too can join the brave conversation and tell us what are some of the brave acts of liberation that you use to express who you really are. Reply with your answer to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook, the Twitter or the Instagram page, and include the hashtag #YourSkinYou'reBrave, and you could stand the chance to win a R1,000 voucher with Ingram's. Now, this week's competition closes on Friday, the 2nd of July at midday, and those T's and C's can be found on our website, expressoshow.com.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Moisture Plus, enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour intensive moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yep, welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show. It is Expresso. We're live here on S3 on a Tuesday morning to turn up the volume a little bit, right, and make life that much richer and more colorful. We're joined this morning by performing artist, one of our favorites on the show. It's Keanu Harker this morning as he officially breaks onto the scene with his own music. It's exciting. It's been a long time coming, and he's taken the Expresso stage and putting it on fire, really, to sing one of his brand new tracks. And this one is called Content. Keanu, the stage is yours.
Tried to give you all and more, but my caring was ignored. I will be fine. Shocked by the idea of trying to please you with everything I do. I am content with all I am. I'm content with all I am. I'm content with all I am. All I am. Loving myself better than anyone else can. Don't know what went wrong, but I lost you somehow. When did I become less than what you wanted? I was always fighting for us. Oh, what made me think we were this much? I am content with all I am. I'm content with all I am. I'm content with all I am. All I am. Loving myself better than anyone else can. Embracing all my imperfections. Don't care about your perspective. Embracing all my imperfections. I am content with all I am. I'm content with all I am. I'm content with all I am. All I am. I am content, hey, with all I am. I'm content, hey, with all I am. Say, I'm content, hey, with all I am. All I am, hey, with all I am. With all I am. Loving myself better than anyone else could.
Now that is what I am talking about. That's how you set the show on fire. Keanu, ladies and gents, the man has made his mark. He's officially arrived. What did you think of that? It's the energy for me. Keanu, wow. Right now, the time for us to delve into what's happening in the world with Zoe and the news.
Thank you, Tabzi. I'll start with national headlines. Herd immunity is under threat as the country's vaccine rollout seeks a firmer footing amid some 160,000 active cases in the third wave of the coronavirus. Experts say multiple factors are standing in the way of getting shots. A small-scale survey was done in which booked vaccinees who hadn't arrived were called to find out why. 19% said they either had COVID-19 infections symptoms or had symptomatic relating thereto, and 9% indicated that they changed their mind about being vaccinated. And teacher unions have expressed concerns about the announcement of the reopening of schools for the third term, saying it should be guided by the third wave. Yesterday, Minister of Basic Education, Angie Motshekga, said schools would open on July 19th instead of July 26th as originally scheduled in the 2021 school calendar. This followed the announcement by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Sunday that all schools will start closing from Wednesday, and that is as the country is experiencing a third wave of COVID-19 infections. Moving to news abroad, rescuers are still desperately searching for survivors in the rubble of a 12-story residential building on the seafront in the town of Surfside, north of Miami, which collapsed and crumbled to the ground in 12 seconds in the early hours of Thursday. 9 people have been confirmed dead and 152 are still missing. The building contained 136 apartments, of which 55 collapsed. What caused the 40-year-old building to collapse remains unclear, but a 2018 engineer's report on the building flagged major structural damage to several areas. And Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni had called out vaccine selfishness in the world, but said it's a wake-up call for Africans to be self-sufficient. Museveni told delegates attending the World Health Summit that Africans are a disgrace to themselves and should stop depending on the outside for everything. He added that countries across the continent should manufacture COVID-19 vaccines locally. The Africa Union has long been calling for a COVID vaccine patent waiver to allow the continent to make its own vaccines as a shortage continues in many countries. And famous actors Samuel L. Jackson and Danny Glover are among 4 people who will receive honorary Oscars next year for their contributions to filmmaking and the world, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences has announced. Jackson and Glover are among the next recipients of the Academy's Governor's Award, which they will receive at a ceremony in January. Other honorees are writer-director Elaine May and Norwegian actress Liv Ullmann. Tough guy actor Samuel Jackson has appeared in more than 100 films. He was nominated for an Oscar for his role as a hitman in the director Quentin Tarantino's 1994 drama Pulp Fiction. Danny Glover, star of the Lethal Weapon movies, still receives the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award for his advocacy of justice and human rights. He presently serves as a Goodwill Ambassador for UNICEF. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. The final update coming your way at 8 o'clock.
Well, COVID still in firm focus as we delve into our sporting headlines this morning. Let's start with rugby. The Springboks, who cancelled their Sunday training session in Johannesburg after 3 players tested positive for COVID-19, will resume their preparations for the forthcoming tests against Georgia. All, of course, preparation for the British, Irish and Lions tour. Boks will return to training after receiving feedback from the Lions Series Medical Advisory Group. South Africa will take on Georgia in the first of 2 test matches at Loftus Versfeld on Friday, with that second test being hosted at the Emirates Airline Park the following week. Then on to rugby on the field. Yesterday, the junior Springboks, they remain unbeaten in their under-20 international series. That was after thrashing Georgia 42-0 at a wet and muddy Makota Stadium in Stellenbosch yesterday. So this was their 3rd win in as many matches and their first clean sheet in the competition after scoring 6 tries. Bafana Tleko's team stuck to their structures. They defended very well and delivered a composed performance against a strong Georgian outfit despite the wet conditions. Then on to the 7-man game. Rugby 7's news now. The Springbok Sevens team will face the USA, Kenya and Ireland in their Pool C of the Rugby Sevens at the Tokyo Olympics. South Africa and USA achieving direct Olympic qualification. Kenya qualifying after winning the Rugby Africa Men's Sevens title. And then Olympic debutants Ireland, they secured the final spot after beating France 28-19 in the World Rugby Sevens repechage. That was earlier this month. The Blitzboks walking away as bronze medalists at the last Rio Olympic Games in 2016 and will be chasing gold at the Olympic tournament from the 2016 to the 31st of July. Then on to football. A couple of shock results last night, actually. Spain and Switzerland reaching the quarterfinals of Euro 2020 in dramatic fashion after beating their opponents after extra time and in thrilling penalty shootouts last night. So Switzerland beat world champions France 5-4 on penalties. That was after Kylian Mbappe missed his final shot. Switzerland, they will now face Spain in the last 8 after they beat Croatia 5-3 after extra time. Then there'll be 2 Euro 2020 fixtures tonight to talk about an old rivalry. England take on Germany at 6 p.m. and then Sweden will face the Ukraine at 9 p.m. Then we return to grass for the most iconic grass tournament, of course. World #1 and reigning champion Novak Djokovic. He's advanced to Wimbledon round 2. That was after seeing off British teenager Jack Draper yesterday. The 34-year-old top seed dropped a set but fought back to beat Draper 4-6, 6-1, 6-2, 6-2 on centre court. In other results, world #4 Stefanos Tsitsipas, he suffered a shock straight sets defeat at the hands of American Francis Tiafoe. Tiafoe easing into the second round 6-4, 6-4, 6-3 on court 1. Well, that's where we leave all of our headlines for the next hour or so. Right now, let's get a weather update and see what the rain has in store for us today.
Thank you very much, Graham. Yes, lots of rain across the country, but let's start here. Canada, they've recorded its highest ever temperature as the western part of the country and the U.S. Pacific Northwest frazzle in an unprecedented heat wave. Lytton in British Columbia, Canada, soared to 46.6 degrees, and the U.S. National Weather Service called the heat wave conditions historic and said they would persist through the week, with numerous daily, monthly, and even all-time records likely to be set. Oregon even eased COVID attendance restrictions to open up swimming pools and air-conditioned areas such as shopping centers. But Seattle actually had to close one pool because of unsafe, dangerous deck temperatures. So really, really hot over there. Now, we do love featuring international cities and sharing a few facts about the different locations that we do get to explore in the mornings. So we stay in the Northern Hemisphere as we give you a little weather forecast for Lytton. Lytton is a village in British Columbia, Canada, and sits at the confluence of the Thompson River and Fraser River. Now, the population of the village municipality as of the 2016 census was 249, with another 1,700 in the immediate area living in rural areas and on the reserves of the neighboring 6 Nlaka-Pamux communities. Now, as of yesterday, Lytton holds the highest temperature ever recorded in Canada, coming in at a staggering 46.6 degrees, and it looks like the area is not in for any breaks in this heat wave just yet, as the forecast for today is mostly sunny and a very hot 46 degrees. So if you are out there in Canada, keep it nice and cool today. Now, thank you very much to every single one of you who've taken the time out to send us your photographs of those beautiful sunrise pictures. Of course, it really is a great way to start every single morning for us. Roxy Mays from Gqeberha shared this beautiful view as the sun comes up in the distance between the clouds. Then we got a picture from Suzette Kuhn from Jeffreys Bay. How is that? Also sharing that stunning view overlooking the ocean, showing some surfers, hoping to catch a few waves as the day begins. But do continue to send your photos if you want to be like them for the next update coming up just after 8 o'clock on our Facebook page. And now we take a look at those temperatures across the country, with sunny Polokwane starting off 9 is your low, reaching a high of 26. Mbombela, you will start off at 15, reaching highs of 34. It's sunny out in Pretoria today, 10, reaching highs of 24, with sunny times expected for Gauteng, Jozi, Maboneng, 10, reaching a maximum of 22. If you're out in Mahikeng, 7 is your low. You will peak at 27, with Klerksdorp coming in at a low of 9, reaching a high of 27. Kimberley, it's sunny out there today, 11, peaking at 27, with Bloemfontein coming in at 9 and 25. In Pietermaritzburg, sunny times, rather Richards Bay. Let's start with Richards Bay, 16, reaching a high of 26, and then Pietermaritzburg will follow that with 11, peaking at 26. The warmest place to be, that's Durban. 9 is your low, reaching a high of 25, with Mthatha coming in at 5 and 28. East London, some sun and clouds over there for you. 14 is your low, reaching a high of 19, with sun and clouds for Karaoke as well. 11 is your low, reaching highs of 24. Gqeberha, 25% chance of rain today. 11, reaching highs of 17, with 30% rain out in George today. 9 is your low, reaching a high of 16. The mother city, Cape Town, continues to pour. It's raining, 80%. 10 is your low. reaching a high of 13, with 60% rain out in Worcester, 11 peaking at 15. 30% rain out in Sutherland, 3 reaching highs of 15. And lastly, Uppington, clear day, sunny as well for you. 11 is your low, reaching a high of 29. Hey, come rain, come sun, whatever it might be, make sure to make it a feel-good type of day. In the meantime, though, get yourself a cup of coffee. We'll see you in a bit.
Yes, Tabsy. Well, listen, we want to connect with you on social media, and this morning we asked you to tell us some of the myths you've heard around COVID-19. Of course, this is in no way us spreading those myths. We just wanted to hear some of the rumors out there, but of course, we'll take a look at those social media comments. Let's see what you had to say. Oh, okay.
We're going to actually tally it up later, Zoe, because we've got so many comments coming through. So we'll rather do that straight after this. So stick around and we'll be chatting to you about all the crazy myths of COVID-19. See you soon.
Becoming a parent fills you with delight, nerves, and questions. Now, an original South African app has the answers. Whether you're expecting your bundle of joy or raising a preschooler, the Purity Journey Journal app is a breeze to use. Sign up for free and choose from a host of features, including 24/7 medical assistance, expert tips, and milestone tracker. Sign up to the Purity Journey Journal app for whenever you need some guidance along your parenting journey.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
This is S3, your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso show. And you know what? It is Tuesday, and we love a little bit of a Travel Tuesday adventure.
We do, and we're all about adventure. You'll find out why. There's always a way to travel and explore. I mean, it's all over the place. Day trips and local travel, they can satisfy wanderlust just as much as international travel. You'll soon find out. Of course, we want to support local as you travel your own country safely and responsibly within those COVID-19 restriction guidelines. Deputy Minister of Tourism, Fish Mahlalela, joins us a bit later on. We're going to be touching base with that. But what we did get the opportunity to do, myself and Jamie Lee, was also go through some of the interesting parts of our country and exploring that beauty with Citroën C3. It is a fantastic Zooty vehicle. You're going to love it.
Oh, well, let's take a look.
Yes, the new Citroën C3 is bold, it's quirky, and it's full of personality. It's got a slick design, as you can see, and it's just gonna inspire you to hit the road.
And we are exploring a world of colors, and what better place to start than right here in the heart of World Cup.
Let's go. Hello. Irene, how are you? How are you doing?
I mean, Shireen, you are a living legend, 20 years in the industry, but tell us a bit more about your connection with the World Cup.
My connection with World Cup is I live here. It is part of my history. It is passionate for me because I understand where I come from, I understand who we are and how history has shaped us.
Wow.
You find it was formerly known as the Cape Malay Quarter, but the word Malay is an apartheid segregated term that means nothing. When we hear the word Malay, we assume they come from Malaysia, but they really come from all over. Workup dates back to 1763, so it's a long time. It's over 250 years. And you find it was because slaves were brought here for skills, crafts, for just about everything. These colors, ironically, is only out for the last 25 years. In the old days, it was white, off-white. One house started painting, soon others followed. And you find, unfortunately, while we see this kaleidoscope of colors, it also only lasts 2, 3, 4 years because the sun fades it very quickly.
I definitely think I will have a greenhouse. What about you, Uncle Tubbs?
Pink.
For how long?
Red, which would fade to pink, and then I won't repaint it. How's that?
Absolutely love Workup. I mean, you can't just help but feel inspired by the color, the culture, and just the spirit of the place. Well, we are on our way to Museburg now to check out a local ceramicist who's known for her bright colors and a beautiful artwork. But of course, we have to talk about the Citroen C3. Uncle Tabsy, how does this baby drive?
Oh, Jamie, it drives like a dream, baby. I mean, you can feel that yourself, right? It's smooth and it's comfortable. Can you imagine those long road trips? Oh, a dream.
Tell me, what is your favorite feature so far?
Oh, this car is packing all sorts of exciting features, but I think what's a real standout for me is the big infotainment screen. And you're gonna like this, it is touch screen as well.
Bougie.
Put it here.
Chris, it's so lovely to meet you. We absolutely love the work that you do here. Tell us more about the work that you do at Potter's Work.
It's gone through many a change, but I started it in 1990 and with just me, and now it's grown and grown. We've got about 25 people that we employ, and of my artists that I've taken off the streets, some of them, they've been with me for about 20 years, and we export all over the world.
It's absolutely mind-blowing because it's colorful. The environment, yes, the people, but also coming through in the pottery work that you guys create here. Tell us about your love and your use of color.
I grew up with color and I love color. So we use the bright, colorful underglazes on the ceramic pieces that we've made. And I have to say, I think that's what's made us so popular world over. And who doesn't get cheered up by color?
And you also do so much work in the community, which is so inspiring. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I've taken people and trained them. It also takes years to train somebody up to this level of skill. The precision is extraordinary. So therefore, my artists have been with me for at least 20. And it means that they're supporting their families. They can give them a good, healthy lifestyle. And 2 of my guys out of my stable of artists have gone on to become the most famous ceramicists in South Africa.
How long have you been doing this?
I think now it's about 10 to 12 years, yeah.
Wow, that is like my age.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the work is, you try to best, guys, especially...
Jamie, she tried to best.
Thank you.
It's very nice, yeah. Yeah, you did, well done. You did, it's nice, yeah.
Well, all this creativity is making me hungry. Do you think it's time to go and eat?
Please.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Safety first.
You know me, always safe.
So I also love the convenience that everything is at the touch of a button. The aircon, boom, 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 Bob's your uncle. So we said 18.
No, we'll freeze.
Okay, 280.
21.
21.
You know, the worst thing about being in any car with bad seats is that after a long drive, you really do start to get tired. But that's not a challenge we're having here, eh?
No, absolutely not. Everything about this just screams comfort, comfort, comfort. I could spend an entire day in here, like we did.
I mean, we have been going from Burkup to Muizenberg to Waterfront, and we are doing so well on feel. And let's be honest, at some points I have put my foot down on the pedal a little bit and pumped it, but it's still doing so well. Well, up next, you're gonna love this. We're gonna eat something delicious. We're going to the V&A Waterfront Food Market. We're gonna meet a fantastic chef there. Her name is Nolu Dubekele, and she's gonna show us a kaleidoscope of South African cuisine. You ready?
I'm ready, boy. Let's go.
Use it. Yes!
Voila!
Oh, yes!
Magwinya from private school. And that is the 7 colors plate.
Wow.
Sit down. Yeah. And then we have a chisanyama plate because I can see you guys need a bit of muscles.
Whoa.
Chef Nolu, I am speechless. Look at all of this.
I mean, this sort of thing must be inspired by something, Nolu, because 7 colors, and I'm seeing all 7 of the colors. What is the inspiration behind this business, 7 colors?
So 7 colors in itself in our community represents a special and amazing time where you cook either mostly on Sunday, a beautiful spread. Rule is that the food must be colorful and it must overflow in one plate. So it's not uncommon for us to have rice, salad, beetroot, like coleslaw, all overflowing in one plate. But also this 7 colors concept inspires the way that I see life, you know. It's all about us existing all in this same space with all our differences. So that's what the 7 colors experience is about.
I mean, Uncle Tabsy, what a day.
What a day indeed. And I'll tell you this, South Africa really is a melting pot of all sorts of things, from cultures, foods, and colors too. We've had such a fantastic time getting around, exploring all of it in this lovely Citroen C3. The colors of the Citroen C3 also just as vibrant as our nation. And we love it! We love it.
It looks like you guys had such a fun adventure.
It really, really was. That's the type of car you want to spend most of your day in.
Ooh.
You'll be taking Zoom calls from inside the Citroen C3. I mean...
You listen, how does this sound for our lucky viewers at home? They stand a chance to win themselves a weekend away to Cape Town, and that is in the sexy Citroen C3 to the value of 15,000 rand.
I mean, it's an incredible prize, right? 15,000 rand Cape Town experience. All you have to do to enter is to reply to the competition post on our Expresso Facebook and Twitter pages. And of course, what we want to hear from you is you telling us what your favorite feature of the new Citroen C3 is and why. I mean, I listed all of those features. I was giving it to you. So tap into that and then answer.
There we go. And don't forget that hashtag weekend with the C3. The competition will close on the 8th of July, and those T's and C's can be found on our website. That is expressoshow.com.
We love it.
Citroën.
All right, let's get into the serious stuff. Obviously, we're all still reeling from being put back into alert level 4. So let's get into that dynamic for a second. There is always a way to travel and explore. Day trips, local travel can satisfy that wanderlust just as much as international travel can. So support local as you travel your own country safely and responsibly within the COVID restriction guidelines. Deputy Minister of Tourism, Fish Matlalela, now joins us on the line to talk about how we can do exactly that, where we can go during this time. Fish, very good morning. How are you?
Morning. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, good, man. We always seem to connect with you and your department in the most trying times. So once again, commiserations. I know the tourism industry has had to roll with the punches. Let's talk about the current state of tourism right now. What are we staring down? How are you feeling about the market at the moment?
Well, the current status is that we, as you know, we're in the woods, and the sector is feeling the bite of the lockdown, which were being felt across the economic activities and the value chain. The state of our tourism in the country can be assessed sector per sector performance. But what is more important is that its agility to respond to the opportunities and the prospect of revival. It's mainly dependent to the extent to which you are able to curb, to reduce the spread of the virus and reduce the spread. That can only be done if people are able to respond to and respect the protocol as espoused by the Department of Health. But what's importantly is the extent to which you are able to accelerate the vaccination program. We appreciate, however, the positive and the green shoot that started to emerge in the tourism sector, e.g. through the accommodation statistics released by State SA last year. The latter was showing that the income in the tourism accommodation industry increased by 3.3% in April 2021 compared to April 2020. The income from accommodation also increased by 2.4% year on year in April this year as a result of a 2.0 increase in the number of stay nights that were sold and 18.1 increase in the average income per stay unit night that were sold. Food beverages were also beginning to show the increase and improvement, but as you know, we find ourselves now in the level 4, a third wave, which will have a greater extent a huge impact into the sector.
Sure. All right, well, it's a very real statistics coming through there. And it seems as though we're stuck in this catch-22 because we want to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but we also want to support our industry. How can you suggest, or is there a safe way to still travel and support the SA's tourism sector while still preventing the spread of COVID-19? Have you guys provided any opportunities for us to still do this safely?
Yes, South Africans had been traveling, especially since September last year, exploring the local springs last year, as well as the December holidays, though we were hit by the second wave in December. But what we've done is that we've in the phase-in of the lockdown, we've undergone a domestic campaign to showcase the places where people can be able to visit, work together with the industry to establish safety protocols for our customers. And we've been receiving feedback from the customers themselves that wherever they've been traveling, they have been observing the safety protocols that the industry has put in place, which made it safe for them to travel and visit our tourist attraction, visit our establishment, so that they then make sure that they explore the country and come out of their houses and their homes. So we've developed what we call norms and standards, which go a long way in universality as to how collectively we must ensure that the highest form of safety standards in the sector and other subsectors is observed and maintained so that it becomes very safe for all South Africans to travel. But what I'm encouraging is that as we travel, let's travel in small numbers, in families, so that we are able to contain the spread of the virus.
Yep, we have priorities. We're going to continue our chat. Deputy Minister, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Maybe the opportunity here, we might not be able to travel globally, but we certainly can see more of South Africa and give ourselves some breathing room amidst the craziness. We're going to continue our discussion with Deputy Minister of Tourism, Fish Mahlalela, in just a moment. Stick around.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares, adding joy and stretching our imagination. Elite quality, elite taste, elite texture.
Made with love by Clover.
Well, we definitely have someone elite in studio because we want to ward off the cold weather with a warm, vibrant winter salad that is flavorful, it's fresh, and topped with our Clover feta cheese to make it even more elite. And back in the kitchen, we have our very favorite Gabby San Giorgio. She is in studio with us, and you're going to take us through this warm winter salad. I mean, I love salads, but for me, it's too cold.
No, I know, and this is something, it's warm, but it's also really refreshing because you have kind of like the cold tomato and then the hot, aubergine, the hot zucchini, hot vegetable.
That's okay. Okay, what can I help you with?
Okay, so do you want to get onto the tomato salsa? So basically, you're going to kind of chop your tomato and dice it. And then what you're going to do then is just kind of roughly chop your herbs. So today we've decided to use some parsley and some mint. And then you're going to season with some salt and pepper.
Okay, I'll get onto that.
In the meantime, I'm going to slice these zucchini. So you're going to take your zucchinis or baby marrow and you're going to kind of chop off the ends. And literally just slice them in half lengthways.
Here we go.
So they kind of just look like that. So what I'm going to do here is then just do the rest of them.
I have gotten a love for zucchini.
So good.
My last flatmate showed me some amazing ways to really just pop them, get them to look and get like tasty.
Yeah.
It's a nice little snack.
No, they're a great snack to have, and they're obviously very low in calories as well. So you can really zhuzh them up with extra things to give them so much flavor. And then obviously after I've just sliced them, I'm just going to toss them in a little bit of olive oil. You want to be quite generous with it, so I would say like a good tablespoon or two. And I'm just going to kind of mix these around now.
Just get them a little bit all covered in the olive oil.
Yes. So basically what we're going to do now is this is a what's the word? An optional choice. I just like to char mine. I like the char on the edge of it. It kind of feels like you're almost having a bit of like a braai with your food.
Yes, and it just like visually looks more appealing.
Visually looks beautiful. So if you don't have one of these pans at home, you can just pop this straight into the oven.
Okay. How does Gaia feel about her veggies?
She loves her veggies. It's actually quite funny because obviously I'm vegetarian, and I had so many family members that were like, "Are you going to bring up your child without meat?" And I'm like, first of all, I got fed meat as a child, and I will, feed her meat. But if she doesn't want to eat it, I'm not going to force feed her.
Yeah.
And funny enough, she does not like red meat.
Okay.
So I don't know why, which is, for me, it's fine. So she's very happy with her veggies, which has made my life a lot easier. But she's getting to that stage now where she only kind of really wants to feed herself.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So now,
How does she feel about zucchini?
She loves zucchini. So what I actually do is I put this in the air fryer for her.
Oh.
And then she just eats it like a snack, which is great. Almost like a little bit of a veggie chip for her.
Isn't that
just
just
quite
a beautiful
cute.
snack?
I know. And you know, it's like nutritious as well, which is great.
Okay,
so yeah, so how's that tomato going?
This is going good. I am on that salsa buzz. There we go. I've got our chopped herbs. I'm going to do some of our mint. I love mint in a salad.
I know, it's just so nice and refreshing. And it pairs so well with the black pepper feta. It was a bit of a tongue twister. I was like practicing in the car, like black pepper feta by Clover.
Black pepper feta. And I mean, this is our Clover black pepper feta. It is an elite taste and the crummy texture of our Clover feta. It pairs perfectly, there we go, with the zesty flavors in the salad. So you can play around with some of the Clover feta flavors in the recipe. So we are using the black pepper, but there's also the plain or the herbs.
Yes.
And of course, there's like lots for you to play with. But I love the fact that we're adding some pepper to it.
Yeah, it's just nice and vibrant. And also the one thing you can also do if you're someone that likes a bit of an acidic taste is you can put some fresh lemon with this as well when you serve it.
Ooh,
which is quite delicious with the cheese.
I can add some salt and pepper for taste.
Yes, please
right?
do.
There we go.
That's perfect. And then basically, so once you've done all of that, we literally toss it together. From this step, you can see our zucchini's charring really nicely. And then what I do is as soon as they all char to your liking, you're going to pop them on a baking tray and into the oven just to kind of cook through.
Okay. So the zucchini on its own. So here we have some ready-made ones that have got a... Yes. It's got a little bit of a...
so that's got your char on it.
Char, that's the word I was looking for.
And then basically, this is the simple part. So as soon as it's hot, you take your cold tomato, if you'd like to do the honors, and all you're going to do is spoon it on generously.
Generously, so I can go all over.
All over it.
Even on the zucchini, there we go.
And then as soon as that's done, you're going to top it off with your feta cheese, your black pepper feta.
There we go, our Clover Elite. There we go. Should I add more?
Yeah, I think that's really
good.
Why
not? Let's go for it.
And Anissa, your black pepper feta by Clover also has a really beautiful salty flavour to it as well.
Oh, and
we're just going to crumble on top to make it nice and rustic.
Okay.
And if you want, just because I'm Italian, that's how we do it at home, is I'm just going to do a final little drizzle of olive oil.
Oh, yes, please. That is... This is breakfast. This is a warm salad. This is perfect for winter. Like you said, it brings that freshness to us. And if you would love to get your hands on this recipe that Gabby just showed us, it is available on our website. That's expressoshow.com. I feel like we need to tuck in.
I think so. I think you need to try it and you need to give me your opinion.
I'm gonna tuck into this, but if you've missed any of the steps to our delicious salad, why don't you take a look at this?
Made with love by Clover.
Ooh, that looks so yum. My appetite is buzzing. Now we're back on the stage, though. Performing artist Keanu Harker is in the house. And of course, he has given us such an experience and a treat of what we can expect from his brand new music. And he's ready to blow us away again with his impeccable voice as he performs the track Stand Together, which is really all about uniting as a nation and being a lot more gentle with each other, especially during these times. Keanu, inspire us. Take it away.
Thank you.
a nation, I feel like we have failed. 'Cause they took their innocence, their innocence. But I know that one day it will get better. I know that soon we will stand together. I know that one day we'll stand together as one. As one, as one. I know that it's so unfair. No, 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 no. But I know one day we will get there. We will, to a place where we treat every child like our own. Flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone. But they took their innocence, their innocence. But I know that one day it will get better. I know that soon we will stand together. God, I know that one day it will get better. I believe and I know that soon we will stand together. I know that one day we'll stand together as one, as one, as one. Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa. Our land. But I know that one day we'll stand together.
Yes. Oh, yes. Keanu Hakaman. Well, this is a very special song and it means so much to you. Maybe a quick summary of what inspired this message and why it was so important for you to share that with the country this morning.
So I wrote this song about 2 years ago at a time where in the country there were so many killings and there was just so much happening, and I felt like I can't make a change in the world, but I can start somewhere. And I felt I needed to write the song so that we as a country can unite, especially now with like level 4 and all these things happening. Let's put all our differences aside. There's strength in diversity, you know. So let's stand together.
And the strength in rallying together to fight for what is right for our country, to do the right thing for our country, and to protect ourselves from this pandemic that is really wiping us all out. We'll see you in a bit.
A healthier you starts with you and your plate. Join us on a nourishing journey by entering to be on SABC2's new show, Color Your Plate with Koo. To be part of the show, buy any 3 Koo products and send Koo5 a day to 072-741-5357 on WhatsApp. Follow the steps to load a picture of your colorful meal served and stand to win prizes valued at 500,000 rands with Koo. Koo, uzotwala.
Strap yourself in to this hand-built 5-liter sedan. An engineering marvel that could drive your spend into the red. Accelerating your lifestyle beyond your means. In this world of chasing status, do you want a bank that takes your money? Or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live on Expresso. It is traditionally a Travel Tuesday, so we are trying to travel as hard as we can despite all of the new restrictions. We are continuing our conversation that we started earlier on the show, traveling domestically and what we as South Africans can still enjoy in our beautiful country during these winter months. And we continue our chat with Deputy Minister of Tourism, Fish Matlalela. Fish, thank you so much for sticking around.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everybody again for the second time.
Good, now we can see
Good
you.
to
Now
see
we
you,
feel a lot better, yeah.
Look, Fish, we were talking about some of the stats, obviously, earlier with regards to the current situation, but let's talk about something a bit more positive for the things that we can do, and especially when it comes to South Africa. What can South Africans and the rest of Mzansi that's listening to you now, what can we expect to do and enjoy in these winter months that are coming up?
No, thank you very much. The rest of the country, as you know, remains open to travel. And as I've indicated earlier on, we'll encourage individuals to travel in small groups in forms of families. There's still general part of South Africa that is currently general warm. So you need to plan. You can go to dams, you can get small, affordable boat ride, you can do a ride, a cable car ride, you can do horse racing, you can visit a museum, you can visit cure shops and spa treatments, among others. But what is critical is that traveling has been perceived by many as being expensive. For some of the attractions who have generally been high numbers in terms of focusing on international markets. The trick is, however, is to plan for your holiday, save money, and take your family along with you. book in advance, and ask for local specials because they will always be there, and discounts that the market is able to provide out there. We are working on a number of products, intervention to persuade and incentivize products that we offer as South Africans for cheaper holidays, ranging from transport accommodation to the entry fees in some of our national parks and various museums in the country. So there's a lot that people can explore and enjoy in small groups and families, but at the same time making sure that we observe the safety protocols so that we are able to contribute towards the reduction of the spread of the virus.
Completely. Do it safely, but get out there, get some fresh air, clear the lungs out just a little bit. I think the silver lining through the last year and a half, 15 months or so, has been that more South Africans are realizing that we have what we need just on our doorstep. There are so many amazing things, and it looks like you guys are helping the market become agile, as you say they need to be. So there's an opportunity to get those specials. So then, that being said, what do we do if we're down in the mother city? What suggestions do you have for us to sink our teeth into from a tourism perspective?
Well, if you are in the Cape, the Cape has many things to do and explore. It offers many opportunities for travelers. The Table Mountain is one of the wonders of the world, which is currently open. We have got the iconic Robben Island Museum, which it's a must go because now it's July month as we mark the Mandela month, and as we've indicated when we visited there last month, that the Mandela Museum is open at Robben Island. I mean, the Robben Island is open, and therefore people can be able to visit the icon during this Mandela month. We can visit some arts projects at Langa. There are a lot of arts projects that are being done around Langa and other townships in the Cape, so that we've got experience on how the tourism, the township tourism is being explored in the Cape. You can still have you can still go through the wine route, though you're not going to buy the wine because the wine is not being sold now. But you can just enjoy traveling around there, tour there, and then you can enjoy the garden route as well, and explore the beauty of that garden route, and be able to enjoy yourself. There are a lot of opportunities that you can explore in the Cape, and therefore we'll encourage people to look at that and see how best as families can come out of their houses and be able to explore and enjoy South Africa.
Oh, we love that. Deputy Minister, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know you've still got a busy day ahead of you, so thank you for taking the time out. We really appreciate it.
No, thanks very much. We want just to encourage our people to make sure that we use the 14 days for pharmaceutical intervention, promote safety, and make sure that we contribute towards the reduction of the spread of the virus, so that we are able to travel more as a country and enjoy and improve our economic setups and create opportunities for our people. Thanks very much.
Man.
Thank you so much, Vishwal. We'll let you get on with your busy day, of course, and for you, Mzansi, some great inspiration to travel and support our local community. Don't forget the significant importance of tourism on the economy, and we're encouraging you to enjoy yours safely. Adhere to the new adjusted level 4 protocols. Buckle up and get ready, because we're taking a trip to a hypothetical future that could be yours anywhere across the country. The beauty is at your calling. Enjoy.
Oh, it's time now to bring it to this round table because over here we start and spark some debating. It's time for you to kick back with your own family at home and sort of debate it out. See what scenario works for you, what you would do, what you would pick, what you might not pick. It's time to dip our Oma and indulge in that way. It's time for us to play Would You Rather. Today's one is a very tricky one and it's a personal one. Ladies, I don't know. Do you want to get personal with me today?
We can get personal. I mean, don't you do that around a round table?
That's it. And that is the whole thing about the round table. Well, I'm going to give you a scenario, okay?
Okay.
And I'll give it to everyone at home as well. You lent your friend 1,000 Rand 2 months ago, and they still haven't paid you back despite multiple reminders. Would you rather?
Okay.
And here are your options. Would you rather, A, remind them firmly that they need to pay you back, or B, just forget it and move on? No drama. Money is money.
I think there needs to be different options to that. It's so hard.
You can only choose from those two.
Okay. Can I go first?
Please go first.
I would go with B only because I know when I lend someone money, I'm willing to part with it. I don't necessarily, like I won't just say, I think it through.
Yeah.
But I don't expect it back, but I won't tell them that. So
Yeah.
if they don't pay me back, it's no hard feelings.
I love you for that. And at least now I know that you are willing to part with money.
But,
that
you know who's going to ask for a loan.
no, but that doesn't mean I'm going to say yes. It depends on the friend. I think this can really ruin friendships because I think there's a lot of frustration that builds up. Like, hey, I just lent you $1,000, but you are living your best life in Long Street. Like, that pay me back.
How's that cocktail?
Well, that's the thing. It's so friend dependent, honestly. Yeah.
And what would you do then? What would you rather?
No, I'm same with Zoe. I would go with
Just forget it, move on, no drama. These are the best friends ever,
conflict is awkward.
Wow, well, I hope none of your friends who need money are watching right now because, I mean, now they know. Well, listen, have you been in a situation like this, Zoe?
I'm trying to think now.
And you can mention the friend
I have. No. Shame. I have.
Mention the friend.
Give them a shout out.
Don't do that.
Shout out. Shame.
Yeah.
No, I have been in that situation, and it's a real situation. And sometimes people genuinely forget, or they didn't realize they were lending the money. They just assumed.
But you were giving it to them.
But then I don't buy them birthday presents.
Yeah, because I mean that was the birthday.
Yeah.
And have you been in this situation?
I've never been in a situation when I've given someone cash before, but I've been in a situation where I had a friend in varsity days that I kept buying stuff for. That it was like, I'll pay you back.
Yeah.
Never did. And then we were out the one night, asked her if she could buy my drink and I'd pay her back later. But then she suddenly had no money. But then I saw her at the bar an hour later and I was like, well, so that was a bit awkward. So
it is aux cable.
It was very awkward.
Yeah, but that's also not a nice friendship. I mean, you kind of
Yeah.
want the friendship where someone will always have your back. So it's like, I scratch your back, you scratch my back.
Okay, maybe not always have your back because that's where it goes wrong. But let's see what your comments are on our Facebook. We've got our first one from Bongi Siwe, Cynthia Duma, who says, B, I know things are tough, but that's just me. My character. I keep quiet and move on, but you'll never get help from me again.
Wise words.
I mean, fair.
Because it's for me, and I agree, it's not an excuse.
but you
that
learn
things
your
are tough.
lesson as well.
At least explain your situation, right? Don't just keep quiet. Say, listen, things are tough. We got the second one. Zoe, do you want to take that one?
Tandeka says A, so that I can have peace of mind. At the end of the day, I was just helping out. He, she must also help me by paying me back. NB, never borrow anyone money.
My grandmother always says, go to the bank. Go to the bank. You want to know? Joanne Bierke says, honestly, I would remind them firmly to pay it back. Life is too expensive to be forgetting about your hard-earned money, to just be giving it away all willy-nilly.
Oh, but listen, if you are that person that, you know, that needs a helping hand, honor that agreement, pay the money back, because at the end of the day, you asked for that help, your friend helped you, don't take advantage of their kindness.
And if there is a situation that prevents you from paying back, say so. And whether you owe someone $1,000 or just want some extra cash in hand, then here's the thing, you can enter this week's competition to win $1,000 and delicious Oma Rusks hamper. Now, what you need to do to enter is tell us which South African city you'd love to travel to. And you want to take your Oma Rusks with you to that city and dip your Omas there. Share your dream location with us on the competition post. It's on our Facebook or Twitter pages, and include that hashtag dipping time in your answer. You have until tomorrow, 12 midday, to enter. So be quick. All the T's and C's are on our site, expressoshow.com. Good luck.
There we go.
time is dipping time when it's with the ones you love.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, beautiful souls. Still kicking it out here on this Tuesday. It's Health Tuesday, of course, and we're bringing you something special. It's Pharmacy of the Week. Now, it's a short feature that acknowledges the incredible people working on the front line.
Yep, this is our little way of saying thank you to those very brave healthcare workers. Proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, the sponsors of Brave. So let's take a look at this week's Pharmacy of the Week, which is Balbani Pharmacy. Take a look.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
Serving this community means a lot to me, a lot to us as pharmacy personnel around here, for the fact that we are able to reach our clients' needs, especially their health needs, especially around this time of Covid-19. It's been my passion since my childhood. I have been a pharmacy technician for over 7 years, proceeded to be a pharmacist, and this is my passion. Without this, I don't live. My numbers, my private numbers are there at the door. Whoever needs help around any time of the day, doctors, community, everybody, I'm reachable. We have taken an oath. The oath says that you'll be here for the people, profit later. But I'm saying saving and doing this kind of job, especially where you serve poor and very disadvantaged people around Tabanchu, means great to Batabani pharmacy staff.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Pharmacy, thank you so much for the work that you put in. Time now to get back into those news headlines one last time.
Well done to those pharmacists working so hard on the front line. Now time for us to take a look at those news headlines. A leading South African cannabis cultivator has dispatched its first commercial export of medical cannabis. The shipment of dry cannabis flower left for Switzerland. The Swiss client is a licensed producer in North Macedonia, and the company is owned by the Zettler family, widely known for their strawberry farms on which many colorfully made scarecrows are displayed, which have become somewhat of a national attraction. The Zettlers have been farming in the Stellenbosch district for 4 generations and have repurposed some of their greenhouses at their Winelands facility near Stellenbosch to accommodate cannabis. Staying in South Africa, herd immunity is under threat as the country's vaccine rollout seeks a firmer footing amid some 160,000 active cases in the third wave of the coronavirus. Experts say multiple factors are standing in the way of getting shots. A small-scale survey was done in which booked vaccinees who hadn't arrived were contacted to find out why. 19% said that they either had COVID-19 infection or had displayed symptoms, and 9% indicated that they'd changed their mind about being vaccinated. In international news, the Ethiopian government has declared a ceasefire in the Tigray region 8 months after Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed sent troops out to oust its leadership. Now, the announcement came as witnesses reported anti-government troops in the streets of Tigray's capital of Mekelle. All sides have been accused of carrying out mass killings and human rights violations. The UN says more than 5 million people are in urgent need of food aid, with some 350,000 facing famine. Ethiopia's government has yet to comment on reports that its troops have been withdrawn. Rescuers are still desperately searching for survivors in the rubble of a 12-story residential building on the seafront in the town of Surfside, north of Miami, which collapsed and crumbled to the ground in 12 seconds in the early hours of Thursday. 9 people have been confirmed dead and 152 are still missing. The building contained 136 apartments, of which 55 collapsed, which caused the 40-year-old building to collapse. And of course, that reason for its collapse remains unclear. But a 2018 engineer's report on the building flagged major structural damage to several areas. Liverpool superstar Sadio Mane has donated some 10 million rand to help build a hospital in his hometown Bambali in Senegal, which hasn't had one before. And it's not the first time that the 29-year-old footballer has given back to the community he grew up in. He previously donated millions towards building a school in the same town. Now, Mane left Bambali at the age of 15 to pursue his dream of playing professional football in the Senegalese capital, Dakar. He later joined English Premier League side Southampton, where the highlight of his first season was a hat-trick he scored in just 2 minutes and 56 seconds against Aston Villa in Southampton's final home game of the year. He then joined Liverpool for the neat fee of £34 million. That's around 674 million rand, and played a pivotal role in its recent Premier League and UEFA Champions League successes. A man with a heart of gold. That's where we leave it for this morning with your news.
Well, let's take a final look at your weather. Heavy rains amid a cold front have resulted in electrical faults, multiple accidents and localized flooding in Cape Town. By mid-morning yesterday, 13 vehicle accidents had been recorded owing to heavy downpours. Roads were also reportedly submerged in Bellville, Athlone, Woodstock, Plattekloof and Panorama. The Strand Golf Club was virtually submerged in water. Mayoral Committee Member for Safety and Security, JP Smith, said reports of flooding in informal settlements, including Guguletu, Philippi, Khayelitsha, Makassar, Sir Lowry's Pass Village and Lwandle were also received. Now, Eskom said in a statement the inclement weather was severely affecting its network in the Western Cape. Smith urged motorists to be cautious on the roads amid the current weather conditions, which are set to continue for the rest of the week. And we love featuring international cities and sharing a few facts about the different locations we're exploring virtually these days. So to tie in with our feel-good story at the end of Tabiso's news, we reported on Sadio Mane's donation of some 10 million rand to building a hospital in the town of Bambali, where he was born. This town, found in the country of Senegal, is not an easy location to get to. After flying to Dakar, you will still need to journey about another 3 hours before you are able to reach the town filled with old houses, wooden fences and plenty of mango trees. Everybody knows Mane there. In fact, he is a role model for every local boy. Mane shows how you can chase your dream and remain humble and sincere despite the success and wealth you gain. He still visits his hometown 2 to 3 times a year, where his mother and several relatives still live. If we have any viewers in this region, today you can expect hot conditions reaching a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. And a big thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time to share your photographs and gorgeous sunrise views with us regularly. It really is a great way to start the day. And today we started it off with the silhouetted image as the sun rises in the distance. It was sent in from Amira Barman from Gqeberha. Next, we head on over to my hometown of Amanzimtoti, where one of our regulars, Louise G. Cheery, shared this glorious view overlooking the ocean and showing off some burnt hues. At 7 a.m., Roxy Mays from Kabeja shared this beautiful view as the sun comes up in the distance between the clouds. And last but not least, Suzette Kuhn from Jeffreys Bay also shared this stunning view overlooking the ocean, showing off surfers hoping to catch a few waves as the day begins. Please do continue to share your sunrise photos with us. You can do so on the Expresso Facebook page, and you may just see your photo featured here next time. On that note, let's take a final look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, a sunny day with a low of 9, a high of 26. Mbombela, 15, 34. Pretoria, 10, reaching a high of 24. Johannesburg, 10, 22. Sunny in Mahikeng, 727. Klerksdorp, 927. Sunny in Kimberley with a high of 27 for today. Bloemfontein, 9, reaching a high of 25. Richards Bay, 1626. Pietermaritzburg, 1126. If you're in Durban today, partly cloudy conditions with a high of 25. Mthatha, sunny, 5 is your low, 28 your high. East London, 14, reaching a high of 19 for today. Cradock, 1124. Kabeja, 11 with a high of 17. Rain can be expected in George, 9 is your low, 16 your high. Cape Town, 10, reaching a high of 13. Worcester, 11, reaching a high of 15. Sutherland, 3 with a high of 15 for today. And sunny conditions in Uppington, a low of 11, a high of 29 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much. So now we are back one more time on the Expresso stage with the well-rounded musician and performing artist Keanu Harker. Now he's just recently officially released his upbeat and positive debut single, Stand Up and Jam, as we take another second to appreciate this beautiful voice. Now he's here to perform his latest single, I Feel It. Brother, take it away.
Thank you. Cool. So this one is called I Feel It. This is my brand new single. I hope you guys have been streaming it, downloading it, sharing, comment, whatever you need to do. Cool, let's go. Wherever you are at home, I want to see your hands up in the air. Hey! Clap.
Man, I can't lie, I can't think about nothing else. This feeling inside, don't think it will ever rest. No, when I close my eyes, I feel like a little child. Feel like a little child. These thoughts in my mind will soon become evidence. Side to side, through my mind. No hard times, I take it in my stride. I feel it move through my feet, say I feel it. I will never miss a beat, I'll never. It gets me carried away. Feeling like dynamite. Hey, I'm ready to fly, defining the underline. Open up your eyes, see just how far you've come. Just see, just see, just see. And close all those doors that's pulling you down. Side through my mind. No hard times, I take it in my stride. I feel it move through my feet, say I will never miss a beat, I'll ever. It gets me carried away. I feel it, I believe it. I feel it move through my feet. Woo! a beat. No. Feel it. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Hey, side to side, through my mind. No hard times, I take it in my stride. I'll never miss a beat. I'll never. It gets me carried away. I feel it, believe it. I feel it move through my feet. I feel it. I will never miss a beat. I'll never. It gets me carried away. I feel it, believe it. Yes, I do.
I definitely feel it. And I've been feeling all of your magic this morning. You're such a well-rounded voice. You and the crew have absolutely entertained us. We've chosen correctly. We chose you this Tuesday, and you served up Mzansi, and I can't thank you enough for that, brother.
Thank you, man.
Woo, it's been magic. There you go, Mzansi, serving it up for you. See you soon, and enjoy the rest of this magic. I feel it.
Guys, was lekker pijnlijk, hè? Lekker, no? I can see it up on the screen. Usually I just give like one. I always try if I can. Most of the time I can't. I'm not even believe it. You can take it in now.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, if that backing track doesn't relax you in the midst of the eye of the storm, nothing else will. It's health matters, and we are talking COVID. Obviously, we have to address this because on Sunday, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that South Africa will move to an adjusted level 4 lockdown due to the surge in COVID-19 cases felt across the country. A new Delta variant of the virus that you would have heard about exhaustively in the news has been detected here in South Africa as we continue to fight the third wave of infections. Our trusted infectious diseases specialist, yep, we've got one on call, Dr. Emile Reid joins us this morning to chat a bit more about the current COVID-19 numbers, and we're going to be sharing some information on the new variants. And if you have any questions, as always, we'd love to connect with you. Give us a call right now, 021 110 5552. He hasn't been stumped yet, so maybe we can stump him this morning.
Dr. Emil,
welcome back.
It's so good having you in studio again.
Great to be
Amidst
back,
the chaos, you're always providing us with some clarity and some calm. And
just grounding us, Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, let's get grounded and start off with the basics in terms of where we are at currently in the current pandemic. A new wave has arisen. What's the stats looking like and the rest of the country?
How's your day job looking?
Yeah.
Well, we have been busy non-COVID-wise and currently also now COVID-wise. And as you may have seen, we're sitting with roughly about 160,000 active cases in the country. And we are busy surpassing our second peak. Even though we're only starting in the Western Cape.
Wow.
This whole third wave have been probably run by Gauteng province, which makes up about 2/3 of all cases currently in South Africa.
Wow.
The recovery rate, as we always sort of speak about, which is normally 94%, we're down to about 88% as well.
Is that because the Delta variant, as it's been dubbed globally, is more dangerous? Is it more transmittable? How does it fit into the grand scheme of things? And is this the so-called Indian variant? Is this the variant that's surfaced in India and that did so much damage there during their last massive wave?
Absolutely. And as you remember, viruses will always mutate.
They evolve.
Viruses evolve, they mutate. When they replicate, they are error-prone. And the big thing is we are expecting variants by the day. And currently, there are probably more than 1,000 variants described, of which 4 are sort of variants of concern. The one, remember, the Alpha or the UK variant, and then the variant from South Africa, or firstly described in South Africa, called the Beta variant. Currently, we're sitting with a Delta variant, first described in India in March of this year. And all of us remember the havoc that this Delta variant has caused and is still causing in India as well. And one of the colleagues the other day in an interview said, Gauteng is going to look like India if we do not do something about it. And when it comes to these variants, there's 4 big questions to ask. Number one, is it more transmissible? And what we know from the Delta variant up to now, that it is probably 40 to 60% more transmissible than the Beta variant, which we also know was about 50% more transmissible than the original virus.
This is how the virus has found its way.
Exactly. So this Delta variant is probably about 100% more transmissible than the original virus. The second question is it more dangerous? And the answer at this point is probably not, but we still need to wait and see what happens. And obviously, when you have a virus that is so transmissible, it actually means we're going to have more and more cases where we find families where one individual have been infected. The rest will become infected as well. So again, as before, probably more so, our hospitals will be more overwhelmed as opposed to the second wave. The third component is, does this virus or new variant escape the immune system? Is there immune evasion, as we call it? And the answer, unfortunately, is yes. Meaning that those who contracted COVID during the first and the second wave, that the antibodies which they have developed cannot fight this Delta
You're not invincible.
So even if you had COVID towards the end of last year, and you might think that your antibodies will protect you, it's not going to protect you. And then the fourth question would be, does this new variant evade the vaccinations or the jabs? And the answer, fortunately, is no. Not at this point at all. Okay. And hence the reason for us to push with the vaccinations and get the numbers up, because the longer you evolve this virus to continue and to spread and to replicate, the more variants we're going to see.
It's learning too quickly. Yeah. Just want to be a part of the herd, man. I just want to be a part of the herd.
Yep.
We're going to talk vaccines in just a moment. Doc's going to stick around. If you've got any questions, please give us a shout. We'd love to hear from you. 011 or 021 rather, 110 5552 is the number to dial.
Thank you, Graham. And sticking to the health topic, in partnership with Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, we bring you Sponsors of Brave, the gratitude season, which shines a light on pharmacists making a difference in their communities and showing us what it means to be brave.
Meet this lady, Jackie Clapton. She is the head pharmacist at Clubville Pharmacy. It's a ray of hope and upliftment to the community of Middelburg out in Mpumalanga.
During COVID, we had to serve a lot of positive people at their cars. And she insisted that she wanted to do it herself because she doesn't want us to be exposed.
That's the kind of person she is. Like, she always thinks about that extra mile. What can she do more?
Putting somebody else first, that's bravery. And that's Jackie Clapton.
Pharmacists are the first port of call. We're always there. If you need a shoulder to cry on, we're there. If you need to understand your grand's medication, we're there. If you have an emergency, we're there.
Middelburg is a small town, so everybody knows everybody. But Jackie always goes the extra mile for you.
I'm working with children with disabilities, and she offered to sponsor some of the kits. They've got one of our collection tins. They always assist us if we need medicines for our staff.
We give food parcels on a monthly basis. We support the children to study further. Clubville Pharmacy always supported Middelburg Club.
Whenever there's a project, whenever there's a need, I haven't heard of one single NPO that hasn't been helped through Clubville.
Jackie is one of the most amazing persons, hardworking, friendly. She's not just a pharmacist. She will definitely walk an extra couple of miles for all patients.
One of our visions for the pharmacy was always that we wanted to be a pharmacy that still cares about the patients.
Jackie and the whole team, it's like family for me.
We would like to know your name, we'd like to know your dog's name, your children, everything. It's the pharmacies that we grew up with.
At 5 minutes to 10, Monday evening, the 12th of April, we got a phone call. The first thing they said to me is, the pharmacy is on fire.
I will never forget it, that night when she phoned me and she was in tears. It was not even 2 minutes. All of the people were here.
She's the bravest person that I know, because the next morning she was here up and about, working under gazebos because she must help her clients.
All we knew that we were going to do is we're going to come work the next day. And things just got organized.
Middelburg was absolutely fabulous. They brought food every day. People offered us fridges. Other people said, yeah, we've got a container for you.
Everybody has just always felt so loved by Clubville Pharmacy. Everybody just talks about how they go the extra mile, and I think people were so grateful for an opportunity to give back.
Because she's such a brave person, and because she took the lead and said, okay, well, we're not going to cry about this, let's get going. It was easy, we just had to follow.
She just loved to help the community and go forward. And with the support she's got, I would say, with the pharmacy, she's really a brave woman.
Aan elke liewe kliënt van Clubville Apteek, dankie dat julle nie opgehou het om ons te ondersteun nie. Dit beteken die wêreld vir ons.
I just want to say to Jackie and Richard and everybody else, thumbs up. You operated out of a gazebo the day after the fire, and we really appreciated that.
Aan my Clubville familie, Ek kan nie dink ek het so span saam met wie ek werk nie. Ons is net so bevoorreg om julle te hê.
To Jackie and Hannes, I would like to say and thank them. 2 years ago, they sent me to go and study to get my pharmacist assistant degree. I passed with flying colours, and it was because of them.
Where can you start to thank a person that made such a big impact on your life? She definitely inspired me to become a better pharmacist. As long as you're fighting, we're fighting right behind you. So thank you very, very much for all you've done for us.
Hannes, ons maak 'n mean team. Jy's awesome en ek so bly jy's my man. Brave means to me getting up the next day and facing it head on. One step at a time. Don't give up. Everyone just stood together. Everyone at the pharmacy did something, but it was not only them. It was all our clients as well. They just came together.
And the truth is, some superheroes don't wear capes, they wear white lab coats in pharmacies. It's more than just pharmacy work. It's work that inspires communities, but it's work that uplifts and heals. Vote for your local pharmacist or pharmacy and stand the chance to win one of 8 5,000 Rand cash prizes. Amazing.
That's right. And the 2 final winners from our nominees stand the chance to win 25,000 Rand towards pursuing a passion project of their choice. To nominate, you can visit partners.24.com/sponsors of brave/nominations.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's for Men, enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour moisture and no stickiness. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, we are continuing our health discussion on the COVID-19 third wave. Infectious diseases specialist Dr. Emil Reid and a good friend of our show is here to talk more about vaccination rollout and explain a little bit more about the ivermectin drug. Before we do that, because I know that's quite a contentious thing and something that you're wary to speak about, but we're going to force you, unfortunately. But I want to, this morning, start with vaccines. You spoke about previous immunities, about immunity to previous variants. We reported this morning on news that multiple vaccines combined are actually having a better effect in some cases. Can you maybe run me through the difference between a vaccine immunity and an antibody immunity from having contracted the virus before?
That's a fantastic question, Graham. I think the most important thing is when you obtain or develop natural immunity, meaning that you have been exposed to the SARS-CoV-2 virus, you will develop antibodies specifically only towards that virus that you were infected with. Meaning that should this virus mutate or there's a new variant, that your antibodies will not work or protect you completely against the new variant. So that's the one problem. And that's the problem that we're sitting with as well with the Delta variant, that it is evading our immune system, our natural
He's had an upgrade.
the evader. And then the second thing is with natural immunity, we find that natural immunity with time also wanes. If you compare that to vaccination immunity, getting your jab actually gives you much broader protection against even variants that have been and variants that might develop as well. Meaning it's a much broader antibody response that you develop. And also when you look at vaccination-induced immunity versus natural immunity, you find that vaccination immunity lasts about 5 to 10 times longer, so it doesn't wane as rapidly as natural immunity.
So it is a superpower.
Exactly.
A vaccine does give you superpowers.
Exactly. And what we find is that there's been a recent publication about a month back where they are mixing different types of vaccines and to give us an even broader spectrum of coverage, and which also lasts much longer than just the one shot as well.
Which I suppose plays into South Africa's hands, is because chances are we're going to have to do this piecemeal. We're going to have to get 1 million there, 2 million there. We're going to have to mix and match. It's the only way.
And the one thing that we are extremely sorry about is the fact that we allowed AstraZeneca, the initial jab, to leave the country, because the AstraZeneca, 2 jabs of the AstraZeneca is fantastic against the new Delta variant, which protects you against serious illness and complications, probably as efficacious as 2 jabs of the Pfizer vaccine as well.
So, I mean, we're talking so much about protection. We're talking about the fact that there's a new potential opportunity to mix these. But another thing that people have been speaking about, and rumors flying around, positive and negatively, with regards to a form of a drug called ivermectin. Now, this has been hotly debated in media, and I think
what is
person,
it? What is ivermectin, first of all? Is it even for us, for humans? Where does it come from?
Well, ivermectin is a drug that was probably founded in 1967, and it was used as an antiparasitic drug to filarial disease, strongyloides, worms, disease, even malaria as well. In South Africa, we use it for resistant scabies, so it's a topical formulation that we put onto our skin, and even for skin parasites. In South Africa, they also use it for cattle, for parasites that infest certain cattle, sheep, etc. And when they develop certain worms, we give them ivermectin in order to kill those worms. And in any pandemic, the same as for COVID, you look at all different, all types of drugs that you want to repurpose for use in this pandemic. And there was an Australian study that was conducted in the lab where it indicated that ivermectin possesses antiviral properties. Unfortunately, the concentration that we need for those ivermectin and those viruses that we killed in the lab was way higher than what you need in human beings.
What is safe.
And we are very worried that the dosages required for eradicating worms versus the dosages that you require to eradicate COVID-19 in your lungs are completely different. Meaning that when you give people ivermectin at that specific dose, you might develop a lot of side effects as well, because it is a lipophilic anti-parasitic drug which crosses your blood-brain barrier, goes into the brain and affect the GABA receptors, making you sleepy, making you nauseous, can induce coma, can induce convulsions, and also it gets eliminated via the liver. Meaning that if you are using other drugs that use the exact same mechanism, you might have
take a lot
complications.
Of strain.
So currently in South Africa, because of the lack of very well conducted studies, it is not advised for people to use ivermectin. But we do know that there are people that are prescribing ivermectin as well. And we are praying that ivermectin works.
But it's not
we are
proven
so
yet,
desperate.
Well, I think like in so many cases now, the data just isn't there yet. We haven't had the years of study to go over the data that's been presented yet to make a conclusive case. So I certainly understand where you're coming from and why you are wary about even talking about ivermectin as an answer, but the side effects are very and can be incredibly serious. We're going to talk more about vaccines, where we are in the rollout right now, and who's next in line in just a moment.
Well, staying with the theme of health, let's bring a bit of health inspiration in the kitchen with yet another inspiring Be Well recipe. Now, very few foods are as warm and comforting as, think about this one, a good, healthy curry, right? Yes, we all agree. Now, this poached aubergine and fish curry is a hearty and delicious meal. It's going to please the crowd, and it's packed with anti-inflammatory superfoods, omega-3 from Be Well canola oil, and the fatty fish poached with fiber-rich aubergine in a spice-infused tomato. Delicious.
It is delicious. And you know what, Tubbsy? You're going to be on aubergine duty.
Yes.
Get that all sliced up and ready for us. And I'll start the base of our curry. So I'm going to be using our Be Well canola oil. It is, of course, high in omega-3s. It is GMO-free. It's endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa. And it also has that approved seal from cancer. So I'm going to start off with our mustard seeds. There we
So
go.
all those superfoods, I mean, they're coming through bit by bit, right?
Our whole cumin, yebo, as well as our curry leaves, because what is a curry without some curry leaves?
It's nothing. It doesn't exist.
It's just not the same. So we're going to get those just to really fry up a little bit, warm up, release those flavors.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add some ground cumin. I'm going to add some turmeric as well as cayenne pepper. Along with, how's the chopping coming along?
I love turmeric.
Oh, yes.
Oh, turmeric is a lifesaver, Zoe.
And then also we'll get those flavors in there with a little bit of ground garlic. There we go.
Done.
So
do you make a lot of curry? I mean, it's winter now. I imagine, you know, curry obviously becomes very popular.
I love curry. I mean, I'm not that great at making it, but I'm about to show you how easy it is. I mean, if I can make it, it is a foolproof recipe.
But can you really make it, is the question. If we can get the onions in the pan, then it's a curry.
Now. There we go. Okay, we're frying up our onions. Of course, you'll take your time making it. Just be gentle, be patient. I'm going to actually just turn the heat down a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to add our tomatoes.
Yes, lots of tomatoes. Of course,
There we
tomatoes
go.
rich in anti-inflammatory properties, which you really want to make sure that you are plowing into your body, putting all of that goodness into your body. Look at how nicely it all comes together already. I mean, the color of that is just...
I mean, that is what the turmeric also does. It really gives you that warm yellow tone that you love in a curry. And then we're going to add some tomato paste as well as some chili paste.
Stunning.
Of course, we want our little curry to have some bite to it. How's the aubergine slicing
They
coming along?
come out so good. Look at that.
Very nice, yes. I
So
love how you've
why
kept it quite rustic like that.
Yes, and I mean, you obviously might know, because I don't know why we've decided to go with this. Is it a design thing, or is it just so that it does what?
Oh no, so it will naturally open as it softens. And that's going to be our, like, you know, you want that fleshiness alongside our fish that we're going to use.
Nice.
So what we've got here is some trout. You can use salmon, mackerel, whatever fish you have on hand, or whichever fish you prefer. I'm going to add a little bit of water just to make it a bit saucy. There we go. And the secret to a good curry is really to be patient. We are obviously rushing through this recipe.
Take your time.
You take your time.
Well, listen, while you're taking your time sort of thinking about how and when you're going to be serving this up, we've made it super easy for you to access the recipe. It's on our website. It's expressoshow.com. The ingredients are all there. And yes, you will see as soon as you click on expressoshow.com just how simple and how quick and easy it is to make. I mean, cooking time about 45 minutes. Because it is a curry, you want to really slow cook it and make sure that all of the flavors and all of the ingredients do come together in a marriage of flavor. And yeah.
Well, we can't forget our hero ingredient, Tubbsy. So
What is
pass
our
me
hero
our
ingredient? This.
aubergine.
Thank
We've
you.
got our fish.
My
so
creation.
naturally, yes, there we go. I'm going to add that now, but I think, yeah, you can add it
You
all
can just
together.
put it all in there, and there's more where that came from.
Thank you.
'Cause,
Do you
know,
have
I cut lots of them.
Thank you.
There you go. But you want to make sure that you just then get that cooking for 25, say 45 minutes, depending on the heat level that you've got. Just 25. Okay.
Yeah, with the lid on.
Ignore
there we
the
go.
45 minutes. If you try and do that, there won't be any curry for you to have, and it's going to be an embarrassing situation.
Okay, well,
that's what
here
it
we
looks
go.
like.
And this is our finished product. The amazing thing is you can serve this with some cooked brown rice. You can maybe serve it on a sweet potato, you know, like a half a sweet potato.
Oh, yes. So we will. Listen, this is definitely perfect for someone who is wanting to host and give curry a bit of a twist. That looks amazing. Once again, expressoshow.com. Thank you very much. Be well for this inspiring, healthy, and hearty recipe.
Yes, you beautiful souls. We're still live, still chatting about something so important. It's obviously in light of the new lockdown laws that are coming through to our country, and infectious disease specialist Dr. Emil Reid is here to recap on this beautiful conversation. This is the third installment of our discussion on COVID-19, of course, and all the pandemic-related activities, the vaccine, the myths, the rumors. Dr. Emil Reid, it's been a pleasure chatting to you this morning.
I mean, we can keep locking it down. What is the answer here? Have we done enough? And what do you think is the most important take-home?
Well, I think, guys, the most important thing for everybody to remember that COVID is going to be with us forever.
Yeah.
And we need to decide. We probably know we're not going to be able to eradicate or eliminate COVID-19.
No.
But we need to control it. And the only way for us to move on is to get vaccinated. Vaccines are our only way out of this pandemic. And the problem is, if we don't scale up our vaccination numbers rapidly in the next few months, COVID is going to be evolving, developing more variants, which is actually going to be more of a stumbling block than
more strain
ever
on the
before.
medical.
So we need to get vaccinated as soon as possible. And this whole thing of regulating vaccinations and schedules to the over 60s, the 50s to 60s, need to go. And everybody that wants a jab need to be able to go and stand in a line, get their vaccine and move on.
Yeah.
Because the longer this takes, the more problems and the more waves we're actually going to have.
It's going to happen. I wish we had hours to talk with you about this, but thank you so much. You do bring a great sense of calm into our studio, despite everything that's going on. I know it's real out there on the front lines where you're working every day, so thanks for stepping out of that, and please stay safe, stay calm. And I suppose the most important take-home for me, certainly, and I can speak from experience after my mom went for the vaccine, is how much more relaxed I feel after knowing that she has been vaccinated. So hopefully from your mouth to the right ears, it's all about the vaccines. Make sure when your chance does come that you do embrace it.
Well, here's the thing. In the absence of the vaccine, we're not able to travel in the physical and literal sense. But that doesn't mean we can't travel in our minds. The power of the imagination. Don't underestimate it. And that's why for #Travel Tuesday, we're off to the ancient city of Rome, home of the awe-inspiring Colosseum, the Pantheon, Roman Forum, and the famous Trevi Fountain. I mean, it's just all so beautiful. You want to take it all in, amongst other historic marvels, of course. But this famous Italian city is also the home of great Italian coffee that combines modern tastes with ancient methods.
And very exciting. Now, the coffee has a popular taste forged by time and rich southern Italian influences, and brightened up with a dash of modern elegance found in its discipline, acidity. In fact, it's got a delicate acidity. Roman roasters cleverly developed their roasting techniques to achieve an aromatic profile that expertly combined the popular ancient taste with a twist of modernity.
That marriage just works, that amalgamation, and it results in a subtle balance between the intensity and the depth of the woodsy cereal notes and the finesse of that acidity and that, the elegant aromatics that are true to Rome's rich history and contrast. I mean, if there's one thing about Rome, is that, right? Yes. And a shot of this Intenso coffee, and you're headed straight into a virtual Roman holiday. I'm already there, Zoe.
You are. Well, let's take a sip of this blend. I mean, it is really, really incredible. And it can be enjoyed as an espresso, which is your 40 mils, or a ristretto, which is a 25 mil. And if you were wondering what the intensity of this one is, it's got an intensity number 8.
Oh, we are buzzing all the way to Rome. Put it here. Okay.
Very good. This is just what I've been missing.
With every cup, we cultivate some of the finest coffee in the world, celebrating farmers as artists, elevating every coffee moment. Because with every cup, precious coffee preserves the beauty of our world. Nespresso. What else?
If a cozy winter blanket brings a glow to your face, it's a lifesaver for children and families in need. So partner with us and Game to help Gift of the Givers and the Homestead Project for Street Children wrap a new blanket around every cold set of shoulders that we can. Donate to any new blanket in collection boxes at select Game stores nationwide up until the end of June. And obviously with COVID-19 regulations meaning only new ones are accepted, each blanket is going to be a treasure to someone.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, you know what to do right now. Take a deep breath. Sing to yourself, woosah. You have to ground yourself, brace yourself, because it's time for another edition of karaoke, and we've got an actual singer joining us for this. Matthew Mole is in the house. He is ready. He's been prepped. Okay, he's gone through his psychological assessment.
Oh no!
To make sure that he is strong enough to join us for this performance.
The level of strong enough is
yeah, buddy. We want you to be as horrendous as us, okay? Because it's karaoke and you've got to give it sick. No, this is the most cathartic part of your day. We want you to sing along at home because this one I think you're going to recognize. Mr. DJ, kick it off.
Take it away.
Here we go.
Are we starting?
Right.
Zoe?
Here we go.
Yes.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. You guys are good at singing. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray. There we go. These little town blues. All these little town blues are melting away. Oh, they're melting. I'll make a brand new start of it. Yes, you will. In old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it. Anywhere it's up to you. New York, New York. York, York.
I wanna wake up
in a city that never sleeps.
Never, never.
to find out I'm the one. Top of the list, king of the hill. Ain't no one. These little town blues.
Oh, yeah.
It's up to you, New York,
Spirit
Thank
fingers.
you.
Spirit fingers. Spirit fingers. Frank Sinatra. So sorry.
We are not welcome in New York now, just letting you know.
Matthew Mole, thank you, man.
Thank you.
I feel so special, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
And I was thinking,
man, thanks
I was singing so out of time that I got to hear your voice.
Yes, me too.
Oh,
That was great too.
That's not a good thing.
but that was special. You can let us know what you thought of that amazing performance. We love our karaoke, and hopefully you do too. And if you're singing along, please send us a video.
Was it amazing?
It was.
It was. It was amazing.
Okay.
New York.
New York.
Yeah. You know what it is for me?
That
It
was
is the
good one,
sheer
eh?
commitment to showmanship that you
Yes,
guys
I-
all
yes,
deliver
I loved it. I know.
every Tuesday.
No, no, we
It's
smashed
just-
it. We had choreography and everything. That was amazing. Thank you so much to Matthew Mole. That was one of the highlights of the year for me, I think, having him back in studio. I mean, he's just so magical. Absolutely beautiful stuff. You can let us know what you thought of that performance. Interesting thing. So, yeah,
Don't be honest.
brutally honest.
No, please don't.
So we've got
be
just a few moments to savor, and then we thought we'd savor it with a guy who means a lot to us in studio. Yes, he's a Manchester United fan, so I've kind of written him off. But he's also a lovely guy. Celebrating his birthday, Keenan. Look how good looking this guy is.
Keenan, Nina.
Reaching way above his weight class with his beautiful wife, Lauren, man. But we love you, dude. You're a legend. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Keenan. Keenan's one of the best looking guys in this company.
This is true.
As you can see for yourself. Keenan,
See you all
got
tomorrow
that
with
shout.
Eagle again. All things baking come with a hungry belly. And we'll see you in the
I
morning.
will do that, man. Never forget how much we love you. Thank you to all of our guests this morning, especially Dr. Emil Reed. We really appreciate his counsel. You stay safe out there. Look after yourself and look after each other. Adios.
Bye.